of crazy that the MacBooks don't got Zoom. You can't download Zoom on a MacBook.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
What?
I don't know.
I'm using the Mac right now.
Yeah, you probably
And
want
it
to.
has Zoom.
You probably want to Google on
Yeah.
that.
Right?
Yeah, you probably want to Google that one when you get time, because you
Yeah.
should be able to download it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go over that jump.
Yeah, yeah. Here we go.
Right?
FTSE win
Right.
Thursday night, Wednesday night, Tuesday night, don't matter. Sports. And we come to talk sports tonight. And whatever is COVID is letting us get in right now. We got baseball, we got basketball coming back. I don't know what the Miami Marlins are doing, but
Getting sick.
They just infecting everybody.
they and I think me and Kyan was talking about this yesterday. They were doing testing, and I guess these guys got tested, I'm assuming, but then they probably, like a lot of knuckleheads, went out and just started doing silly stuff again, and then in between time they caught it.
Yep.
Either that or they were never tested. One or the other is bad all the way around. So,
Yeah.
They Lou Williams out there. That's what they doing.
but
Listen, sometimes you just got to get wings. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you got to get wings. It happens.
but to be honest with you, the Marlins don't. Who was expecting Marlins to win anything anyway? So
Well, let's be honest. If you ask me about all the MLB teams and ask me which one would get COVID, it's going to be the Marlins, right? I mean, right?
Yeah,
I mean, let's just be real, right?
now, with that being said, I'm sure Dodgers fans feel that the Astros should get it.
Everybody feels the Astros should get it, right? Actually, no. People want the Astros to be out there so people could throw baseballs at their heads. You know?
Yeah, but the Dodgers didn't do nothing about it. They had their chance. They didn't do nothing. They didn't take advantage of that.
I know.
What's up with that? I mean, they ain't like they played them they ain't like they're in the same division and they play.
No, that's true. I mean, I don't know. Like, all of that's weird too with baseball anyway. How you've got all these unwritten rules in baseball,
right.
or stuff. Like, I still don't know how I feel about some of it because, of course, I never played baseball like that, right? So let's just put that out there.
I played baseball. I never played on MLB level, so we weren't allowed to do that kind of crap in high school, obviously, and
Right.
Trying to make it into minor leagues, we weren't allowed to do that kind of nonsense. But on the major league level, yeah, those are unwritten rules, and
Yeah.
some of them were downright ridiculous.
I mean, I guess my thing is, if I'm a pitcher, right, and I give up a home run, yeah, I'm mad, but I'm not going to throw it the next guy. I messed up, right? It's my fault.
You need to throw a better pitch. You need to put it in a better location.
Right.
You need to,
Right.
If your break was off, you need to get your break and pitch right. Your
Right.
curve was off. You need to. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
It's a problem here. If
Right.
you throwing meatballs up there and they putting them in the seats, whose fault is that?
Mine. And then the other thing too, and especially the American League, like the National League, I get it a little bit because at least the pitchers have to stand in the batter's box in the National League. So it's like if you throw at somebody, it might be coming at you. So I get if you have to think about it there. But the American League, you don't have to get in the batter's box. You can throw it who you want to, and no one can. I've never liked that. I've never liked that. It just makes no sense to me. That's all.
Yeah, and they usually try and pick person who either they'll try and pick the best player on the team, or they pick the person the weakest link or nobody cares about the most.
Right.
Much, but if you're going to send a message, you want to hit the best player. If you ask me,
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I mean, take out the best guy, but then also, do I want to put that person on base? Like, I don't see how that helps anything.
It doesn't really. It's a psychological thing. Some managers play that game. Like I said, I don't. You would have to do something really nasty for me to want to throw a ball at you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have to do something. You'd have to either hit me with a ball or
You hit a teammate.
Right, hit a teammate with the ball or come sliding into me dirty. You know, you slide into me dirty, something along those lines. You know, but even if you slide into me dirty, I'm gonna get you back.
Well,
I'm
that's
gonna get on base.
right,
If you're on the base pass anyway, yeah.
But I'll just get you on site though. Like if you slide into me dirty, we can just go right now. You're right here. I don't have to wait for somebody to throw a pitch later. We right here. Let's do this right now. That's what I'm saying. Like, why am I going to wait like 3 innings and then my pitcher's going to come up and say, "Hey, get that guy for me because he slid into me"? What are you talking about? You should have handled that 3 innings ago.
Brandon's at the bottom screen. Can you see him, Travis? Where he's got his video block right now. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm trying to go on from my MacBook. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to join for. Oh, that joint is dark.
Let's see. They should be able to see you right now. I don't know what's going on. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, it's connected.
Okay, there you go. Oh, you trying to in on the MacBook? Okay.
Yeah.
But you can hang this other one up then.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
But that's my point. It's like that's the part I don't get. It's like if I got beef with a player, I'm just gonna just handle it right there, right? If he slides into me dirty, we can go right here. You're 3 inches away from me. Let's go, right? I'm not gonna wait and let someone else throw a pitch at you and then fight. No.
Let me see which one is the new one. You got 2 of them stuck here. You got one stuck here, Brandon. Which one is? I'm trying to figure out which one is new. Is your new one named B? Just B or just Brandon?
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why it's still showing on there.
I'm gonna disconnect the other one.
Yeah. I closed it out, but it's still there though.
Okay, there you go. Finally, good.
Your facial expression, like
it wouldn't go away.
Brandon's like, I'm gonna be here twice. And
oh man,
it wouldn't go away. I'm like, what the hell is this? You know, what is it? Zoom malfunction or some crap? You know.
Right.
But yeah. So turning my reverb down some. I like I said, that's my thoughts on it. I'm gonna get you back. And matter of fact, I remember even in high school because they'd have thrown you out in high school. You know, they'd have thrown you out the game.
Yeah.
I remember we were playing this team and I was playing second base this day, and this fool was mad because I was tagging him. Because he would get a lead and I would tag him, but I was putting that hard tag on him. I was,
sure.
You know, I was snapping it on him, and he was like, I said, I told the pitcher, give me the ball again. The pitcher wouldn't give me the ball again because I was going to hit him upside his head that next time. I was going to really give him something to get mad about.
But that's just it. But you were going to handle it right there. That's the thing. It's like, I'm right here, you're right here. We're like, you're not going to let the pitcher go handle it for you. Where it's like, hey, throw out in the next inning. No, you're going to handle it right there.
We both that day we both had 9 players, so we both got kicked out, and it'd have been 8-8. It'd have been a good, it'd still been a fair game. So you know what I'm saying?
Right. That's funny.
You see, they canceled their games until Monday, right?
Who Marlins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Canceled their They should have canceled them for like 2 weeks. I mean.
Well, there's rumors they might have to cancel most of what's left of this season, depending on how long this goes.
Yeah, depending on if because I think they're getting retests and see if they got some false tests and some weird stuff going on, or they might have to do the unthinkable, bring up some AAA players.
What?
You know who they get?
Wait.
But they pretty much a AAA team anyway.
I was gonna say it's like wait, isn't that the Marlins difference?
Yeah, Skip would love that one.
Right. I mean, once they got rid of once they traded Stanton to New York, it's like who they got left.
Yeah, they sent well he I forgot his name now because he done went and signed with the Braves now, but they sent him to the Cardinals, and then they sent the other boy to Milwaukee.
Okay.
That's it, you know, and those were their 3, and like you said, Stanton. So those were their 3 top best players.
Miami, so like the Florida Marlins are so weird, or I guess the Miami Marlins now. It's such a weird franchise in the sense that they won their 2 World Series when they basically bought them, and then they just said we're just going to be garbage the rest of the time outside of those 2. We don't care because we still going to make money. It's like
that's usually how they do it though. That's how they remember they first came in the league.
Yeah.
Then they put that team. They built through the draft. They built the right way, and then they put that team together. And I think they may have signed a vet here or there.
Well, Gary Sheffield was huge.
Do it. Yeah. And then they won the World Series, and then what the owner do?
break them up. And what's funny is, I think if I remember correctly, he waited like 30 days. And it's like we're tearing it down. It's like, what are you just want to? What are you
doing? You ain't gonna give those guys a chance to defend their title. What are you doing?
Right. It's like, yeah, it would be different if after year 2 they were garbage and it's like, okay, we're gonna break this up. He didn't wait. It's like, yep, we're done. Let's tear it down.
Right. Old bastard. But anyway. Because it took him about 10 years to rebuild. When they came back in 2004 or something. Because the first one was 97, I think.
Yeah, it was like 04 or 07, one of those years.
And
they had Josh Beck.
Yeah, I was like, man, it was 07. You're right. It's like, good Lord, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, that took a long time, but yeah, man, I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, man, I am like, so I didn't realize how starved I was for sports, for live sports. And I really haven't caught any NBA. I'm assuming they're still scrimmaging, right?
Not a done.
Okay.
Yeah, because games start
the real game starts tomorrow.
Okay, but they were scrimmaging. So
yeah, up until yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, up until yesterday.
So I really wasn't watching that, but I was kind of catching highlights here and there. And then this other sports group I'm in, it's a St. Louis Cardinals group. They was like posting highlights and they posted, live feeds and highlights of the Cardinals. And I was like, oh yeah. And then I saw Yachty standing on first base with a mask, man. I was like, I don't know if I can get used to this. I don't know what that is, man. So it was kind of like, and I heard them clicked off of that because it just, and like you were saying yesterday, the stadium was empty.
Yeah, it's weird. Like the way, again, it's funny how if someone's going to do this wrong, it's always going to be baseball. It's always going to be baseball who does it wrong. Like even when you look at the salaries and stuff like that, like I don't understand baseball sometimes. Like, for example, who is it they just got a contract at? Mookie Betts, right?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Don't get me wrong. Mookie Betts is a great player. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to get paid. He should get paid.
But you don't think he should be top dollar?
Not for not for 10 years. Like, if you want to pay him top dollar for 5 years, I'm down. I won't even complain.
Here's the question, and I'm saying that is he? I don't think he is. I could be wrong, but is he the top player in the league?
But you know how this works. The top player in the league is only the top paid for a short amount of time. That's how it always works.
True. So he's going to force up salary. So
right.
But you're saying, but I agree with you. 10 years for him.
Right, and Mookie Betts is like what, 27, 28? So what are you doing?
I mean, is he a transcendent player? Is he a franchise player? Can he carry a franchise?
He won't be in 6 years. That's the problem. Like right now, yes. Right now, he's great and amazing, and I get it. But 6 years from now, he's going to start to decline, and you're still going to be on the hook for all that money. So why would you sign him for such a long deal? That's where all of it's guaranteed. That's the other thing too. It's baseball. It's a baseball contract, 100% guaranteed. What are you doing? And then these same owners are going to complain, we don't have any money. We're broke. We can't sign players. Well, then stop doing that.
Right. Stop.
Bryce Harper started a trend, though.
Harper, yeah.
Harper, so.
No, actually,
no.
The Angels owner started that crap.
Yeah, the Kemp. What's the dude? Yeah, the Kemp dude. I forgot what it. What's
Matt Kemp?
Yeah. He had a bigger contract before that. So
well, I was going to say the Angels owners did that when he signed Pujols. Yeah. So that was the beginning of that. But then you can say, it's Pujols, Me personally, and dude was already in his 30s, so I'm not giving.
That's just it, though.
I'm not giving him a 10-year contract.
Right, he's 30 already.
Right, but you can maybe make an excuse for that because they got some incentives where they giving him part of the team or some weird stuff, and then he gets to be work for the team. I don't know, some weird stuff, but I still wouldn't have done that. But some of these other guys, man, it's like Mookie. I mean, so. And then didn't they re-up what's his name too, the Angels? The
Trout was last year.
Okay, so what did he get?
Oh, it was ridiculous. It was like I think like $28 or $30 million a year or something. It was like the highest contract in baseball ever.
10 years.
I think it was 13.
Oh, good Lord!
I'm a pull it. I'll look it up right now while we're talking. But that's what I'm saying. It's like
he could be the main one talking about he ain't got no money, right?
Right. You're going to hear the Angels owners like, well, we can't get good players because we're paying Mike Trout. It's like, then why did you pay him for 13 years? That doesn't make any sense. All right, he signed for $426 million. No, I'm sorry. That was Mahomes' contract. I'm sorry, Mike Trout didn't come up. Give me a second. I'm pulling that right
now.
Okay.
Mahomes is $426.
Yeah, my bad.
Mahomes killing it Yeah,
no one's ever going to catch him though.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Mahomes.
will. Yeah, they will. Like I said, pay attention. That's how this works. Of course they will. Like Lamar Jackson is going to probably come close to that.
Yeah, he'll get close, but after it's all said and done, I think it said Mahomes can earn like $540 or something like that. Some crazy, like that's crazy. 10 years. He'll be making like 55 million on the back end of that last 5 years.
Mahomes?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's just it. It's football, maybe. Like that's the thing with football because a lot of it has to deal with your roster bonus. So do you quote unquote make the roster the next year? And that's where they can get a little. Okay, so Mike Trout's deal was 12 years, $430 million.
Oh man, let me pull up my calculator. How much?
4 years. 12 years, $430 million.
430 million divided.
It averages the 36.35 million per year.
Yeah.
And so again, is Mike Trout worth that money? Absolutely.
Yeah, but for 15 years though.
That's the thing. Not for that long. That's where it's like because once he hits like 33, 34, 35, you're not going to get $36 million worth of production out of him.
Dolomar said he's seen people say it's a bad deal.
Yeah. Who's Mahomes or Trout?
I'm thinking he's talking about Trout.
Yeah, it is a bad deal.
Yeah.
Just like Pujols' deal was a bad deal.
Well, yeah. I mean,
like the first 5 years is going to be great, and then after that, it's like now I'm on the hook for all this money. What am I going to do?
Shoot, he didn't even make it the first 5 years. He started breaking down the next year.
Listen, I know you're a Pujols fan, so I'm trying to be nice.
I'm trying to be nice too. I love Pujols as a player. You know, he was great in St. Louis, and I'm not mad at him for taking the money. That's what he wanted. I'm just keeping it real. You know, he broke down real quick on them.
Yep.
So they'll never get that kind of value out of him. But your boy, he's got 13 years. That's yeah. And so, but you mentioned Mahomes. You know what I didn't get to do any homework on? I was intending to do.
Yeah.
That freaking Tommy Tuberville.
Tommy, that's your boy. No,
I wanted to look up and see what his and we'll get into that later, but I wanted to see, and maybe I'll do that while you guys talk about some stuff, but I wanted to see what makes him presidential candidate, what makes him presidential.
Other than the fact that he is a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant male. Other than that,
I want to know if he's got some government experience at any level.
No, don't think so.
If he's ran a successful business, that's what I'm gonna look up in the meantime.
He would argue that running Auburn was a successful business.
Hey, get out of here, man.
No, I said that.
No, I'm not talking to you.
I was gonna say, yeah.
If he was sitting right here, I'd say, get out of here, man.
Right.
Well, you ran a football team, man. Get out of here. You ran a
It's
football.
like Mr. Orange, what did he do? He bankrupted like 6 businesses, and he's got like another 8. I mean, he's
Call him Mr. Orange. I call him Orange Peel, but
yeah, Mr. Oh my gosh, man.
Well, we almost forgot. He also shut down the football league.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, he's the reason USFL died because he was trying to go head to head with the NFL. It's like, what are you doing? You're not going to win. You can't do it. The NFL is undefeated when it comes to that. Don't do it.
Let's see. Ernest says it's a bad deal for Mahomes. Maybe they were talking about Mahomes.
Oh, for Mahomes?
The bad deal for Mahomes?
I disagree. So one of the things that helps Mahomes' deal is he actually gets what you call a future roster bonus, which is rare. So, for example, if he makes the roster in 2021, which of course he will, then his money is guaranteed through 2022, and so on. That's what makes his deal so interesting, and that's how they were able to make it work in the cap. So that way, even though eventually Kansas City is going to probably I think it's year 6 or 7 when the money really starts to go up, they're going to be tight. But up until then, they're going to be just fine and be able to keep players around him because even though the overall number is big, he won't be eating up that much of the cap because a lot of it's going to be backloaded.
Well, the cap will be up by the time their quarterbacks will be making $70 million.
That's true.
I mean, for real, it's going to keep going up anyway. So
it's a good point.
And then you got to think about it. Cap. I mean, Mahomes is going to get paid also from the Royals.
Yep.
For being partial owner from that. So this kid is set for life, man. He's set for life in the next life, in the future life, and the life after that one.
That's how you do it. You gotta get that money. You got to turn it into wealth. Like you got to go from being rich to wealthy, and that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, and he's there. So I think that's the first time I've ever seen like a football player that young. I think he's 23, 24, and he's going to be a partial owner of a baseball team.
Yeah, because even when LeBron bought a part of, I think it's Liverpool, I think he was.
He wasn't
27.
Yeah,
he was like 26,
he was 23. Yeah.
Hey, and shout out to LeBron for helping the ex-cons in Florida get their right to vote, man. I mean, that's a poll. If you all ever heard of the term poll tax, that's exactly what the legislation in Florida did. Yes. After the citizens of Florida voted to allow ex-cons to vote, they turned right around and implemented a poll tax.
Yep. And as I've always said, the part that's always challenging about that stuff is it's funny how the rules always change right before there's a big election.
Yeah.
For example, if they'd done this stuff like 2 years ago, you'd be like, all right, cool. People got time to get adjusted. But nope, they always wait right until it's election time.
Yeah. Dolomar says that the NFL contracts are up in 2024 every time TV contracts, new TV contract salaries go up. Yeah.
So that's why Lamar will be the next one. Like, I think, well, assuming he has. So let's say Lamar goes out there, if they play football this year. Let's say Lamar goes out there and the Ravens win the Super Bowl. Well, then he's on the exact same track that Mahomes was on, MVP, then I win a Super Bowl. So he will command close to the same amount of money at that point too.
But we know they're not going to win a Super Bowl, though, right?
Well, I don't know who's going to win. I don't know if there's going to be football. So I don't know who's going to win.
You don't think it's going to be football?
I don't know.
If they don't get this under control, man.
I don't see how.
Yeah. And another thing, I don't see college football. I don't see them putting those kids. We were talking about this yesterday. They're putting those kids at risk because they're not even getting paid.
They better not. Well, they shouldn't.
But here's the thing. Y'all think it's out of control, or y'all think there's fabrications and more testing going on?
Listen.
You think anything is different than what people have been doing months ago? They've been at the beaches.
Yes.
Because we had a. Go ahead.
We had it going. We had it under control for a minute.
And then what happened?
And then the idiots start saying, "Oh, well, let's go back." So instead of encouraging people to come back out slowly and encourage them to continue to wear their mask and continue to be smart about it, people just start going out there and just going all willy-nilly doing what they were doing before the pandemic. And guess what happens? Big outbreaks.
Right.
Yep. So because Memorial Day happened, right? And people are like, "Oh, we've opened back up," even though a lot of places are like at what they would call phase 1. But everyone's like, "Oh, phase 1, we're back to normal. We can do what you want. We're going to party on Memorial Day." And especially living here in Florida, you would see that nonsense. Like people out in the bars, nobody wearing masks. They're just like they would be, packed like sardines. And now all of a sudden, everyone's surprised. Everyone's got COVID. Well, this is why. No one tried to even practice social distancing. They're just like, we're good. We can do what we want. And
reason being, Brandon, because a lot of people think it's fake, man.
Yeah.
And they won't listen. And then you got leadership that's feeding into that, so that's the problem.
Majority of it's coming from Florida now, too, though. Like, it's like Florida is like, I don't know.
Here's why,
because of their leadership.
Yeah.
That one, the leadership is bad. And two, think of the states that have recently taken over when it comes to COVID. They're all destination states: California, Texas, Arizona, Florida. They're places where people go to in the summer. Right. So if you're not controlling this and then you just turn people loose, this is what happens. This is how these viruses spread.
And then, I was going to say, and then we know some people just hard-headed, You see them going up in stores. You see these viral videos, people going up in stores. They ask to put the mask on, and they act a complete fool.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then they get mad because then they told to leave. Then they get mad again and act another fool.
Yep.
It's like, anyway.
Well, it's like I remember someone saying this once, and this is my problem. Like, people would, like, those same people who would argue that, for example, a bakery can refuse to make a cake for a gay wedding are mad that Costco would kick you out for wearing a mask.
Right.
It's like you can't have it both ways.
Right, you can't. I mean, either business can control who they do business with, or they can't.
Correct. Exactly.
So, say Dolomar said Dak wants 4 years and Cowboys want to give him 5. Oh.
Yeah, that's what it's been. That's what it's been from the jump for the last 2 months. Like, everybody's saying we wasn't trying to pay him. He just wants 4. So when he turns 30, he wants another contract. Well, Dallas can do it to where
he want a start contract.
If they give him 5, then they can still franchise tag him another year. That'll be 6 years. So that's how they're trying to do it. But also, just give me 4.
And also, Dak is trying to catch the next TV deal. So he's trying to time it so that way he wants to have, because if you're smart, if you're a quarterback where Dak is right now, you want your contract to end when the next TV deal starts, because odds are you're going to make a lot of money. So you want to be a free agent when the money increases.
But see, we all know you can probably get away with betting on yourself in basketball and baseball like Jimmy Butler did. Mm-hmm. But in football, betting on yourself, that's not really a good safe bet.
And it's not up to you either, because if you get the wrong hit.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I agree with that. But here's the catch. Right now, Dallas has 0 backup plan. Well, I know they got Andy Dalton, but not long term. So right now, Dak actually is in a great position, because it's like, I am your guy. You have not done really anything to try to, at least challenge.
But if he bet on himself and the Cowboys don't budge and he gets hurt,
I know.
Definitely gonna go in a different direction.
But also remember, there might not be football this year too.
I don't think we're not going to give them the money's there. Like, they agree upon the money. Like, the guaranteed money is more than anybody in the NFL, even higher than Russell's. Like the yearly was like 37, so it's like he's in the top 5. The problem was, well, won't you give me 4 years? My next year, that'll be at $42 million. So that's what he was trying to do. Dallas was like, all right, I'll give you 37. And then 2021, it'll go to 39. Dak was trying to do, give me 4 years. I want to make $42 million. So he's trying to be in that top 5. I mean, but they were close, but it was just too late at the end. So
and also, if you're Dak, you're trying to argue you got me on the cheap for the first two and a half years. You need to pay me, because I way over excelled my contract as a second, third round pick.
This 4th round.
Sorry, 4th round. Yeah, absolutely. It was like, I'm a 4th round pick. I played like a 1st round pick. You got a deal, so you need to pay me on the back end.
Right. Yeah. 1 second. Come on in, Chris. You're late. That's okay. Come on in. What's up, brother Salaam?
What's up, man? I snuck in here and I ain't getting no party flip and shit. So
yeah. How you gonna sneak in with all that Cubs gear? You can't sneak in with all that Cubs gear on.
Hey, now here's my question. Now we ain't got no Dodgers fans on here, but you in LA. How the Dodgers allow the Astros to get out of there without any retribution?
Yeah. I saw the highlight. I didn't catch the game, but I think I recorded it. But I'll go back and watch it. But if that game was here, it would have been, even though they're not letting fans in Dodger Stadium or whatever, fans would have found a way to get up in there. All the hoods in LA would have zoomed in right on Chavez Ravine, and they would have hollered at Houston.
They've been climbing the fence.
Oh, you better believe it. Listen, if you coming down, because like I've gone through there with Cubs gear, the Cubs game, whatnot. For the most part, the fans are chill. But then you're gonna have an asshole. He said, "The Cubs fucking suck," and then it's gonna stare me down. I'm like, okay, dude, you're out of your weight class. So I'm gonna charge that to the brew. Okay, so you're not gonna Anheuser-Busch you know what I'm saying?
You're only 4'9", so go chill somewhere, dude.
Yeah, I'm like, you run up on me. I didn't put on weight and shit. So we go downstairs. It's a spot where you're going downstairs from the 500 level. That if you come down there solo, or if you can't like throw hands and nothing like that, you're taking your life into your own hands at Dodger Stadium, for real. So like it's easy to see how Buddy, the Giants fan who got beat down, it's very easy to see how that could happen, in spite of all the police presence there.
Right.
But
it still ain't as dangerous going to a Raiders game.
No, it ain't. I haven't had that fortune. But the good thing was, like, when you go to support your team, there are other fans there, a gang of other fans there. So you're shooting this shit with everybody else. Oh, what part of town are you from? So that part, the overall sport experience is really cool. But even if like
it's always gonna be one. You know that.
it's always gonna be one. So like, I don't charge that to the city. I charge that to the homies. So
Charge it to the
that's
game.
just what that
Charge
is.
it to the game, right?
Yeah. So
I don't charge that to the city or the fans. I charge it to the game.
that's how you go. I mean, you know what the hell you're getting into when you're wearing an opposing team jersey in the damn stadium anyway. Now, if you're going in there to mind your business, root for your team, that's one thing. But if you're going in there like and you like talking head to everybody, then of course you're gonna get something back. So you gotta expect it. You know, I mean, like I don't go in there talking head, but I will cheer for the team. You know,
Well,
but that's with anything.
I'm going to the Washington Red Hogs games this year with a Dallas jersey
In
on.
the Red Hogs.
The Red Hogs.
I can't get them the pleasure of the Red Tails. I've been doing that for a couple years now too. So, but nah, y'all saw the names that I posted, right? It's down to 3 names.
It's down to 3. Which ones?
It's like Red Hogs, Red Tails, and what was it? Metropolitans. Washington Metropolitans.
Metropolitans.
Yes.
It wouldn't shock me if they go with Metropolitans, considering a running theme of Washington Capitals, Washington Nationals.
Yeah.
Then you have the Metro Police.
That's probably the best fit.
Yeah. So that wouldn't shock me.
FYI, Salaam, for whatever reason, Jenna says your cable is driving him nuts. So
yeah, it's popping up on the camera.
Oh, let me bring this bit closer.
Oh, and then Dolomar said you got 2 points for being late.
I did? Oh, he did.
I thought he was talking to Chris.
Somebody give me some detention.
One of them.
But
like, how's that wire out the way?
Yeah.
All right.
It wasn't bothering me. It was bothering Janice.
Yeah, no, it's all good though. Yeah, we'll get on out the way.
Hey, yeah. Lee on one tonight. You talking about
you triggering something in him?
Yeah, he on one. Talking about I'm gonna rub one off, and I look like Teddy Riley. I don't know what he got going on right now. I don't know what he got going on right now.
Damn.
Right.
Oh, jam.
Right. But yeah, that Metropolitans, I can see that happening too.
Yeah, that's probably. I mean, something like that. Yeah, I can see that.
And here's the other thing, Brandon. I like the Red Tails, but I can see them running into problems.
Yeah, they're gonna get a lot of pushback from that. Yeah,
they're gonna get pushback from the black community because
yeah.
So
their history,
so he'd be safe to just like you said, pick some generic name But you know what he should have done is went to just like what Florida Seminoles did, went to one of those nations and say, "Hey, can we license your name, in a respectful way, and change it from Redskins to one of the nations?" You know what I'm saying? That's what if he wanted to do that. But
I mean,
then he's gonna have to pay them, and he don't want to do that.
Well, not only that though, but that's a big leap to go from a name that's a racial slur to now we're going to respect your Native American heritage.
Hey, it's 10-20, bro.
That's a huge. I'm just saying that's a huge jump.
For him, it is, yeah.
Well, even for the tribes, though, they're gonna be like, no, no. We're not gonna help you with this. No.
Did you see some of the fans crying about the name?
Listen.
You see that one black dude dressed up in Chief Wahoo McDaniel, whatever he was looking like.
Oh, jeez.
Crying. I was like, man, if this Negro don't go sit down somewhere.
Right. It's like I always say, if the team were called the Washington N-words, dude would have a problem. Right?
Right.
You'd be like, no, this is messed up. Okay. That's why the name's a problem.
Y'all remember back in the day when they used to have the Don't Pollute commercials and they used to have the American Indian?
Yeah.
That's what that Negro looked like. With the tear. I was like, man, if they don't get the dude over there.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
Excuse me. It's always one.
Always.
That's what it takes.
Always.
There's always one of them out there somewhere. Salaam, you probably didn't hear, but we were also we did talk about baseball and we talked about COVID-19 and how the Marlins done screwed up their whole team.
Again.
Damn South Beach, boy. But you know what? I gotta sit here and eat my slice of humble pie and my crow sandwich because so far the NBA looked like they got it right.
Yes.
Okay.
NBA and NHL. So I know I was one of the proponents saying, you know what, to scrap the season ain't gonna work. To me, dudes is like along came Polly in on the court and talk about let it rain, all that kind of shit. So far, I mean, they're making it work. Aside from unless you have a craving for hot wings and diamond armstrong, you know what I'm saying? So
Hey.
if you got that kind of craving, but you can kind of make it work. But
who goes to the strip club for some freaking chicken
for
wings?
some hot wings, there must be some fire-ass hot wings, boy.
Lou Williams apparently.
Lou.
Like
Lou.
here's a part of the story they don't tell you.
Come on, man.
Wait, listen. Wait, listen to me. Here's the part of the story they don't tell you. How long did he wait for them wings?
Yeah. Right.
It's like, I'm going to pick up some wings, but I'm going to stay for like 3 hours. Like, right. That's the part they don't tell you. How long was he there waiting?
Man, I just went there to get some wings.
Hey, go get some more.
You went there to get some wings. You were there for 5 hours.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
what kind of wings? Did they kill the chicken like right there? Exactly.
And it's so funny because I saw some other posts where some of these strip clubs got drive-bys. They got drive-bys.
Yeah. I thought it was that like a meme. I didn't know if it was for real or not.
It's for real, man.
Considering it's Houston, yeah, that's I think that's real.
Houston's wild, boy.
Houston, you saw people,
something else. They off the wick with it.
Yeah, but yeah, but yeah, that had me cracking up talking about some wings, man. I'm like, yeah, you had disappointed some of your teammates, brother.
Yep.
So it is what it is.
But they're gonna be all
right. What are they eating though? Like I seen like pictures I couldn't confirm. What are they? What is their meal situation looking like over there?
They eating great. They get whatever they want. Whatever they want. Adam Silver set up, man.
They couldn't fry no damn wings.
I mean, again, like we're all thinking. Like,
you probably been waiting all week to ask that question. Ain't you? They couldn't fry no wings.
but again, we're all thinking like us, where it's like, yeah, I just want some wings. Lou's like, yeah, I'm gonna wait 5 hours for this wings, and I brought singles, so let's go.
This shows that
COVID is like
group. This shows that we're getting old, man, because ain't nowhere in the world we can even relate to doing something stupid like that.
Hey, Lou is older than what y'all think.
Well, COVID is revealing a lot about a lot of interesting things about folks. I mean, like that's dudes that's thirsty like for wings at a strip club. But I mean, I'm sure it's women out there that you throw a bag of beans at them, they won't know what the hell to do with them.
Right. the best wings in town, man. Now I will say this. So one time, me and my wife was down on a landing. There's St. Louis got a riverfront landing, and they got restaurants and stuff down there. But we went to go see this lawyer to get some stuff taken care of, and then it was like, man, we was down here all morning. Let's go get some lunch. So we went across the street to this joint called Show Me's.
Show Me State. What they show you?
I showed him nothing. His wife was with.
Look, I was told that they had some great wings. I'm a wing lover, so, but I didn't. But the cast that you was telling me about the wings didn't tell me the other part. These gals, man, they pretty much wearing G-strings, man. I mean, they like, and I was like trying to act like I can't see nothing,
Hey, did they have?
I'm like, yeah, baby, these wings good.
Jay, do they have an hourglass figure?
Man, some of them was like,
how many hours?
Yeah. And this one thing kept coming to our table, and I was like, would you stop coming over here? You gonna get something started, you better stop coming over here.
Yeah, but you know what? You can say that, but your wife didn't make you leave, though, so you all right. You good.
No, she liked the wings.
Because let's be real, because normally they're like, nope, this is not the place for us. No, don't even get a table. Turn right back around.
Yeah, but now if I said, yeah, man, I'm going to meet one of my partners. My partner called. He want to go meet and show me. That'd be a word.
Like, I'm sorry, where was that again? Don't you worry about it.
Matter of fact, one of my partners did. He told me, man, we hanging out, man. This one around the corner from me. He told me, we hanging out. I said, where you hanging out? He said, show me. I was like, dude, I don't even want that drama, man. Let's go. Let's work out something else.
That's a show me state that you in.
Yeah, it's
The
a
zoo.
yeah. But anyway, so then Kid and I was talking yesterday, and I'll get your take on this, brother Salaam too. Tommy Tuberville, Tommy Tuberville is running for U.S. Senate in Alabama, and I was like, because it was a big to do a couple of weeks ago. I was reading something and I heard some noise, and then and they was like, obviously he's all Donald Trump and all that stuff. So anyway, I was like, well, what qualifies him to run for Senate? What experience do we have? So I was sitting here looking, and I found something, Ken.
What you got?
It says Tommy Tuberville describes his experience on the campaign trail leading up to the election, stating that he has enjoyed interacting with people. It's quote, it's been interesting. Never to have campaigned before. I really had fun. I love people. I love being around people. I'm doing this for the right reasons. I'm not taking a paycheck. My paycheck is going to go to every month to the veterans in this state.
That's I'm
maybe
that's his experience, and that's his
I don't buy it.
I'm gonna let Salaam speak on that first, and I'm gonna say the exact same thing I said to you yesterday. So I'll let him go first.
No, go ahead, because
no, you go first, please.
I saw the headline, but I haven't heard the meat and potatoes of it until Jay had said something. So you probably got something on it, but
the dude ain't got no experience. He ain't got no experience, and he ain't got no business experience either. And like I think Kyan said earlier, what he's gonna probably say is, I ran a football team.
So the point I made.
Where did he coach at again?
Auburn, Texas Tech, Ole Miss. There's someplace else I think.
Auburn,
too.
Texas Tech. Okay, well the SEC is a business.
Yeah, but the business side of it, you don't really. You ain't supposed.
I know.
You ain't supposed to be handling.
I'm gonna make one. I will say one thing.
They clean up down there. I put it like that.
Well, I will say this much. I will give him one credit for one thing. The time when he was at Auburn, yeah, you had to deal with that because what's his face, the booster, I think it's Lauder is his name, was basically running the show, and that dude was intense. So if you could keep your job at Auburn while he was running like that man's the reason why Tommy Bowden didn't coach for years. Because of what happened at Auburn. That's why Tommy, but like people talk about, oh, well, Tommy left and he wanted to get into broadcasting. No.
He got forced out, huh?
He got forced out, and the experience was so bad because of him. He's like, I'm good for a while. We good. We good.
We know, and not just a sidetrack, just a second. We know Saban obviously got his stuff on lock, man, because.
Well, Bama is different from Auburn.
Yeah.
Because at Bama, as long as you win, the state's going to they're going to take care of you. Like, I mean, not to be too facetious, but Nick Saban could go out there right now and beat somebody up in the street and they won't care as long as he's winning football games.
Yeah, he's king in Alabama. My boy, his son, Kendall Milton, he's the freshman running back at University of Georgia now. So he narrowed down his choices to Ohio State, LSU, Alabama, and Georgia. And when they went on a recruiting trip to Nick Saban's house, he went live from Saban's crib, and it's like a palace.
Yes.
I mean, I'm like, you wouldn't think a college coach is living like that. I mean, I understand, like, a modest, maybe 4-bedroom, 2-bedroom. That shit was a mansion.
Yes.
Yeah, all this acreage. I mean, like, I don't know what he put down per year. How much you making per year?
I think 7, right? 6 or 7.
I was about to guess 8, but yeah,
it might be that high.
Yeah. And the 215 or wherever the area code is down there. No, 215 is Philly. Sorry, Philadelphia people, but it's 20 something.
We got some Philly folks watching too.
It's 20 something. But down there in Alabama, that $8 million gonna go far. Yes. I mean, you can buy like whole highways with $8 million.
Right. Mm-hmm. Now, here's what I will say though. The one thing about Bama that's also kind of funny is if Saban goes out there next year, let's say they play football, right? If they go out there and they lose 6 games, he will be on the hot seat instantly. That's what makes Bama so crazy. You've got if you mess up 1 year, they're coming for you. They don't care that they built the statue. They don't care that you won 6 titles. Oh, you lost 6 games. You got to go. Who's next?
Yeah.
Somebody corrected you, Salaam. It's 251.
251?
Yeah.
We're close.
Okay.
Yeah. Close enough. What's up, Chris? Welcome aboard.
I knew it was 2 something.
So go ahead and finish your thought about Tuberville, Ken.
So the point I made, because we were talking yesterday, and I said, well, because the point Jay's like, well, what experience does he have? And I said, well, keep in mind, our current, like, let's say you have gone bankrupt 8 times. All of your money came from your father, essentially. You've gone out here. We don't know what your IQ really is.
6 times. We're gonna be first.
I'm sorry, 6 times. Excuse me.
Okay.
You've defrauded a university and a cancer foundation, and the only successful thing you've done is run a TV show, sort of, and you're the president. So once that happens, all bets are off. Once that person becomes president, then
therefore we can have President.
Orange Man?
No, I was gonna say we can have President Kent. Well, I forgot his name now. He's been in the news. He's been in the news so much lately. President Kanye. Yeah, President, and Vice President Bruce Jenner.
Oh my!
Vice President Caitlyn Jenner.
Again,
Kanye, you are not from Chicago.
The Addams family. The Addams family.
That's the only point I'm trying to make. Once that person gets in the office, which has happened, obviously, all bets are off now.
But Ken, is that a reflection on the sitting duck? The sitting president, or the candidate running, or is that a reflection more on the populace who votes for him?
Oh, it's definitely the populace because
the American electorate, frankly, is stupid. And we don't take the time to research, a lot of the things that we go to bat for and issues that we willing to, on the hill that we willing to die on.
Yep.
We don't know the half of what we're trying out there standing for. We're just completely in the dark and
and that's assuming we vote. That's the other problem too. Only about I think the numbers I saw last time, I think it's only 25 or 30% of the American population votes. That's it. Think about that for a second. That's insane.
25 to 30% of the population.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's low.
Yeah, it's
That's insane.
And and don't get me wrong, I understand why some people will say, well, I feel my vote doesn't matter. I get that because you've got things in place like the electoral college that kind of proves that. So I get where they're coming from.
Yeah.
But the fact that so many people still choose not to have their voice heard, I find to be fascinating.
Right, because point to your case in point is your state. If you're in a state of swing state,
we couldn't hear you for a second. You're good now.
Okay. If you're in a swing state, if you're in a state that that for example Donald Trump won, Michigan, Pennsylvania,
Florida, where I live,
those states that normally go blue. If you would have voted, maybe those states did go blue.
Yeah.
And we have a different response to COVID-19 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. I look at our state. So now, granted, unfortunately, the person who ran for governor against DeSantis was Andrew Gillum, and he had his own problems after the fact. But at the time of the election, it was obvious that the state of Florida was going to turn towards DeSantis on some nonsense because all of a sudden Broward County votes can't get in right. And Dade County votes can't get in right. It's
That's funny.
Ray.
That's funny. Poor Andrew. Go ahead, Chris. I know you got something.
I was just poor Andrew.
Well,
I was just gonna say now. Where the black people live, right?
Yep.
Broward, Dade, up at the top in the Panhandle, they didn't have any problems.
Nope.
And then the deep red part of basically South Georgia, that part of Florida, they were good.
Yep.
So it is amazing how we have literally watched elections being stolen. The same thing happened in Georgia.
Yes, it did.
Wait a minute. 1 second, Chris. You can drop the corporate voice now. You with the fellas now, Chris. You can put the corporate voice to the side. You with the fellas now.
Maybe he's running for office. Let my man speak.
Oh man!
He code switching on a Salaam. Code switching.
To a campaign ad.
Exactly. But for real though, man. to watch, how the whole Georgia election went, to have the Secretary of State then to run for governor and not recuse himself in the beginning.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
And then have a runoff.
Yes.
And I mean, so your people are counting the votes. It's just, it's thievery in plain sight.
Yeah, that's like a king. That's like a king electing himself.
Right. Right. I mean, it's like elections in other countries.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they have these faux elections, and Putin wins every time.
Right.
Right.
That's the funniest thing. Yeah, Putin won in the landslide. I'd be like,
right.
Well, of course he did, because his name's on the ballot like 4 times.
Yeah. It's like you can't referee the game you're playing.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, right. Exactly. So, so we were talking about. I don't know if you caught that, Chris. We were talking about Tuberville and Tommy Tuberville and his qualifications. So, if you had any thoughts on whether you thought he was qualified, I'm throwing him out there because he was a big football coach in Alabama, right. In the state, and I don't know if he has a good chance of winning or not, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about what's going on in Bama at the moment.
But you do know that
we got our own shit in California.
You know that your Dodgers didn't take care of business.
You got all kind of craziness going on. So
yeah,
had a good chance.
Yeah. So the NBA, man, what's up,
man?
I want the Clippers to keep going to strip clubs and their breaks. Going there, like my man.
You want to see Diamond and Ebony?
Right.
Like my man.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
The best wings in the world.
Hey, let them keep doing it.
That must be a hell of a buffalo sauce.
Man, listen, in full disclosure, I've been to Magic City, and there are much better wings throughout the city.
Just put the truth on out there. Just put the truth on out there. They're not the best wings in town.
they ain't the best thing going. And then, when you finally, you come of age, you're like, that's unsanitary.
Right.
Yeah, that didn't make no sense by Lou. And Lou is too old for that, man. I mean, if he was 21, 22, okay, all right, you messed up, but come on, bro.
What y'all think about what Perk said to him?
You took back the words right out my mouth. He took the words right out my mouth.
Yeah, but a lot of people were coming down on Perk. What's that?
Everybody comes down on Perk, man. Every time Perk, man, it seems like everybody wants to.
I mean, if he writes right, though. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you're right, you're right. I mean, what's the point?
It's a shade of gray there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because like it's a very creative way to toe that line, because like considering Perk is not that far removed from the game. And a lot of these guys are guys that he's lined up against on the court. So there's a certain level of rapport that you have to have. You're kind of like how Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, to look at them for instance, right? They're not that far removed from the game, but they got so much respect, from the guys that's still out there and their peers, that they don't really go out of their way to throw people under the bus or whatever. But then again, they're not really into reporting. They're just getting guys, on their podcast to like basically just give them the real on what goes on in the locker rooms, what goes on while you're training in off season. What are you looking at in gameplay? Tell me what you think about your fellow, players that's in the league who you had to line up against, who did, and the knuckleheads are the same way. So I get it's a little bit different, but if Perk plans on having a career long term in this business, I would say he needs to like have some balance. So okay, a little bit of going in on cats, going in between the ribs here, and a little bit of establish some rapport. You got to have some degree of balance. I mean, because remember, like Stephen A. Smith, Screaming A. Smith, I guess, as much as we go in on him, he was the closest dude that he's gotten to was AI. Yep. Nobody got close to AI like Stephen A. did. But when Stephen A had to like be critical of him one time, AI didn't talk to him for 2 years. And then when they finally sat down, like, yo, what happened? You know, I thought we was boys. I remember Stephen A at the end of the interview telling AI, yo, I love you, boss. I mean, what interview,
but you know,
no matter how close you are, I never even seen Ahmad Rashad say that to Jordan. You know, I never even seen that. And they golfing buddies and they like, you know, ho-hopping buddies and all that. But I never seen like with as tight as Stephen A and AI were. And AI said, yo, I was hurt. I felt that like you betrayed me. You could have picked up the phone. At least they were able to talk it out and now they cool. But and part of that is AI has to recognize that Stephen A got a job to do as well. So it's a little, it's kind of gray.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm with Barkley on this one. You know, hey, I got a job to do, and you know, if we got a problem, let's talk.
Mm-hmm.
We should be able to iron this out, especially if we got a friendship that goes however long. You know, if we can talk. You know, I'm a Jordan fan, but I still feel that he's wrong with Charles and some other guys. So these guys got their egos and they hold grudges for whatever reason. I have no idea.
I mean, hell, look at Isaiah was ready to come through the TV and Horace Grant and all them. He's like, I was just with you just the other day.
That's funny.
My face. So I'm from the west side of Chicago. I don't hide from nobody. He said, all I'm saying is, where you at? And then Molly and Stephen A and Max Kellerman all got dead silent for like 5 seconds. It felt like it was a minute. And then Molly was like, okay, we'll leave it there.
Yeah, because it's like, wait a minute, weren't we just hanging out yesterday? And this dude just called me a what?
Yeah, but Isaiah picked up the phone and called Horace, and him and Horace talked, and Horace said they good. After all of that.
You're gonna be good.
Really good. Yeah, I thought this was gonna really go south.
I guess you're gonna be good after Zeke said what he said.
well, I think they were good because you know Horace Grant came out with stuff that he said about Jordan. So now you know they had that common thread. The time I guarantee you that conversation went about, man, Mike ain't shit. Mike did this and this. You know, I'm sure that was the bridge that he walked over to beat Isaiah. I'm sure it was.
I can't wait. Yeah. Once Undisputed has them guests back on there, and Horace Grant gonna go in there. Oh, it's gonna be the most viewed show I think in history.
Yes, it will.
He's gonna go all in. But real quick, with Perk. So when Perk speaks the truth, people hate him. But then dumbasses like the idiot from Boston. What's the idiot name? Y'all know the idiot. What's the idiot that wore number 34? What's that idiot name?
Oh, Paul Pierce?
Paul.
Yeah, he hates on everybody.
Yeah.
He hates on everybody.
No, dude, you're right about that.
Nobody say nothing but to him.
I'll tell you why.
Nobody's good. Nobody's this. Nobody's that.
Yeah, like everybody's terrible. Like everybody.
I'll tell you why.
Wade, he would have stopped LeBron and them 3P. He's terrible.
Yeah,
I'll tell you why.
I think Paul's assessments kind of stem from him not really leaving his playing days behind.
Yeah,
more so than anything.
But
I heard the interview with Antoine, you know, on the Knuckleheads the other day, and he said like, okay, yeah, I'm from Chicago, but Paul, that's an LA dude right there, you know. So I've never seen him lack confidence. Now I see why he think he the best in the world, and so that's coming from a guy that suited up with him for 7 years, you know. So to see like that and see Paul in studio. Saying, no, I would have did this, and this. I can kind of understand Paul, you know.
Well, yeah, because Paul's that dude. I think like Paul's issue, or the reason why people don't flip out over Paul is Paul, number one, thinks he could, like, if you ask Paul Pierce, like with no cameras, he would tell you, I could score 50 on Jordan at any time, even as like, he's that guy. Right. Mm-hmm. So when he starts hating on players, everyone's like, that's just Paul being Paul.
But you on
that's I think that's what happens.
But you on the other side now. So now that you are a commentator and you're commentating on these guys, it's their time now. It's their turn.
But it's not. I'm not talking
about. Switch, though. He ain't gonna let that go though. He's just not gonna let it go. He won't.
Hey, Jalen, I was gonna say Jalen Rose got at him when he said something
Jalen
about
be
somebody,
destroying him, bro.
and
When he gave
Jalen
him the
Rose,
D Wade stats, woo,
Mhm.
that
Jalen
episode
was like, he just went down the list, and Paul was sitting
Talk
there.
about comparing him to Wade and
And
yes.
Paul
comparing
was
him to
sitting there,
Wade.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god,
Paul
yo.
was sitting there like, he got his feelings hurt. I was laughing my butt off.
No,
Funny.
Jalen does his homework.
Hilarious.
Yes.
Jalen does his. I like Jalen.
I do
Jalen
too.
goes in on him. Yeah, he just
Jalen said, "Man, you tripping, man. You know how Jalen talk, man. You tripping. Look at this."
Jalen up there looking
Jalen
like Pretty Tony.
Right. Jalen is built to talk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was made for this game. He was made for the next transition.
Yes, he was.
All was just good.
I know y'all give his other Fab Five buddy Fab Five buddy a hard time, but
Whoever.
yeah,
I
Weber?
don't. I mean, I
yeah,
like
they do.
Webb.
But they
Webb
give
ain't-
Webb a hard
I mean,
time.
like,
man.
he can, I understand where people coming from and their criticism of him, but I personally like Weber. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't know this about him. That dude, when he was at Michigan, was number 2 in his class academically. He's a
Yeah,
smart
he's not
cat.
dumb. No,
You know what I'm saying? So, and then like when they showed his house one time, and he had like all this African American artifacts. You know, in the crib. I remember he was walking in the house showing Summer Sanders and Ahmad Rashad inside stuff. Yo, I got the whole like this is Frederick Douglass piece right here. And he was just going on and on and on. And I'm like, okay, there's some depth to this cat. You know, and then when I see like Jalen come around the corner doing his thing, you know, like Jalen has a better mouthpiece than Weber, but Weber's a smart cat though.
Oh, he's sharp, dude.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, very
in y'all
sharp.
He
opinion,
wasn't too smart on that timeout though. He wasn't too smart on that timeout.
I don't blame that. I don't blame
Well,
that solely on him now. I don't think that's all his fault. I really don't.
I don't think so either. Because if you go back, it was motherfuckers on the corner calling timeout. You know, so and if it wasn't for Weber, I mean, like Michigan wouldn't be in that position.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? So
J.R.
like
Smith and Weber need to switch. They switched them two dudes out. They would have been fine.
I mean, like,
which 2 dudes out?
J.R. Smith and Chris Weber.
Oh.
But I was going to say, what do you guys think is the big? What is the big issue that people have with him though? What is it?
oh, I think I know what my issue with him.
Commentating.
And Chris Webber is one of those people who I think has difficulty. Like Weber wants to please everybody, and by trying to please everybody, he's
like a fool.
really himself.
Yeah.
Right. So even when you look at the way he plays basketball, the Chris Webber, like, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but follow me here. There has been only one article from Jason Whitlock, who was the worst that I've ever liked, but he was right about this. He wrote an article about Chris Webber, the difference between Chris Webber and C Webb. So the dude we saw in Michigan, who would just dunk on your head like it was no big deal, who was physical, who showed his athleticism, was a different dude than what we saw in Sacramento, who was all flash, and I want to do the pretty pass, and blah, 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 blah. And the point he was trying to make was just that I wonder what would have happened if the Weber who came out of Michigan or who played like he did at Michigan had played with that intensity his entire NBA career.
It's 2 different environments, though.
Oh, no, I get that. Oh, no, I get that. And I understand, as you get older, your game changes. But it's an interesting thing to think about. And I think it's one, like, even when you watch the Fab Five documentary, Weber wasn't a hood kid, but he wanted to be a hood kid, right? Like because he was trying to find, like he was trying to be accepted, and he couldn't figure out how to do it. Like he couldn't just. It wasn't. He never felt it was okay to just. I'm gonna be myself, and that's fine. He's like, I'm gonna be this for you. I'm gonna be this for you. I'm gonna be this for you. And so when you see him, you're like, well, who are you? Like, which one of these is right?
But look at the piling on that the Fab Five took at that time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that pretty much was the precursor. And when he got to the pros, okay, let me make business decisions now. Let me be more corporatized. Let me be a little bit more selfish. Because I'm not talking about just Weber, the individual, but if you look at the team makeup of the Fab Five and the team makeup of the Sacramento Kings, for instance.
Yeah.
I mean, like we can even throw in the Washington Bullets, former Bullets at that point. Because at one point, the Bullets had Weber, Jawan, and a rookie Rashid. So I thought, like, damn, they coming. So, but then you go to Sacramento, and you had Vlade, you had White Chocolate, you had Christie, a savvy veteran, you had Peja, you had at the time Lawrence Funderburk. You had like all these Bobby Jackson. All these dudes.
And then you had controversy in the game in the playoffs, right?
But and the playoffs too. But then, yeah, that's another story. But
wait.
still got their ring.
18 foul shots in the quarters is normal. That's not normal. That's not normal. Okay.
We'll leave that alone. But the point I'm making is, like, when Weber was in Sacramento, the biggest criticism that he got, when people were on top of his head, was when it came out that he lied to the grand jury about the Ed Martin scandal. Right. But look at the tie-in though. When he was at Michigan, I remember when they were going into the national championship game against Duke, one of the main antagonists that season long against the Fab Five, Bobby Knight. Bobby Knight was like, I don't like the way they play. I hope they lose, get blown out. They're bad for the game. I mean, remember, like, they were called the Thugs. During that time.
And don't get me wrong.
They were public enemies.
Yeah, they were public enemy, right?
And don't get me wrong.
Yeah, UNLV was the same way, but the difference is UNLV were seniors.
Yes. Remember, Bobby Knight is one. Bobby Knight's one that kept Barkley off that Olympic
he sure did.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying I don't understand why Weber felt he had to make those choices. That's not what I'm saying. But even when you look at the Fab Five, like, for example, take Jalen Rose or take Juwan Howard or even Jimmy King or Ray Jackson, especially Jalen and Juwan, though. They're the same. You can tell they're the same dudes now as they were from day one.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, there is zero difference. The only difference is, especially, they've got higher profile jobs. They're getting paid obviously a little bit more. Well, maybe not even a little bit more, but you know what I mean? They're getting paid better, and they just are, they're better speakers now because their job calls for it. But Jalen's still Jalen. You listen to his podcast, you watch him. Like, Jalen's going to come for you. If Jalen's got a problem with you, he's going to tell. Like, that part hasn't changed. The thing about Weber is, I'm not saying I don't like the dude. I have never really known who he is.
You don't think he's been authentic, is what you're saying?
I can't tell when he is. That's what I'm trying to say. Because he's so different in so many different environments. I don't know who the real Chris Webber is.
He's been a chameleon. He has been a chameleon for a very long time.
Yes.
Right. And we saw him when we first saw him, we didn't even know that wasn't him.
Right.
When we were
number one, he wasn't combing his hair, was he, Chris?
But even before, he talking about when he had the bald head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When he had the bald head, you know what I'm saying? When he was, he was coming out like he was true. I say it wrong, but we all hood. So Detroit, right? Like, no,
Country Day,
and that's okay,
correct?
Right? But it's hard though, and this is something that goes bigger than this little conversation, right? It's hard being black and not being hood, right? To be able to come out in a high profile place,
from the bird,
everybody around you is, you know what I'm saying? We here with it. We all from the hood. We all from the same spot. Everybody around you is vibing the same way. And here you come in speaking proper English.
I'm from Beverly Hills, right?
Getting good grades. Exactly. All of these wonderful things. It's hard because now it's like you're not real if you're not this. And he was one that wasn't comfortable being himself. Like, say, Tim Duncan. We ain't never see Tim Duncan claim nothing but who he is, right? He was a weird
Tim
dude.
Never claimed no set.
I don't know though.
He repped the VI though. He repped Virgin Islands.
Right, you know what I'm saying? He repped the Bahamas, and he is cool. He don't care about nothing. He is on his own, and he's doing his thing. But I feel you, Kyan, because I mean, C-Web, I love this game, but man, I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know. Yeah, go on.
I know one thing. I'll be frankly honest. His street cred in my book, because speaking of what you perceive, C-Ray, his street cred in my book dropped like a Dow Jones when I found out that Shane Battier went to that same high school that he went to. And I said, nah, I know.
Hey, leave my boy Shane alone, man.
It's kind of like in 8 Mile when Eminem got that old boy said, I know something that they don't know.
Right.
Your real name is Clarence.
And the funny thing about Webb is that Coach K actually recruited him. A lot of people forget about that.
Oh yeah.
And But Jalen always had it out for Duke because he felt he was just as good to be recruited by them, but they wouldn't touch him.
Right.
And like I said, I went like Antoine Walker was one of my my high school teammates, excuse me.
Yeah.
And I remember Steve Fisher coming in the door during our practice to come recruit him. And I didn't find out till I saw his interview yesterday that he was considering Michigan that high on his list. For me, I thought I knew about Kentucky, I knew about UNLV, and Illinois was maybe a long shot.
Sure.
But Michigan to be right there, okay. I wasn't knowing all that, but somebody like Twan people don't understand how cold this dude was in high school. This dude was just cold.
He was cold in college.
Basically, I have footage I'll be glad to share. This dude
what are you talking about? He was
okay. And considering that he was at the time, I think number 4 in the nation, because you had Felipe Lopez, who out of Rice up in Queens, up in St. John. Then you had Gerard Ward. Then you had who was number 3? I forgot who number 3 was, but Twan was 4th. Okay. And I think Andre Patterson, some cat from Texas, he ended up going to Indiana, but Twan was 4th. But who does Coach K pick? Twan don't fit the mold.
Nope.
He picked Trajan Langdon. Yeah. He went up to Alaska to go get Trajan.
Yeah, he went to Alaska.
But you also know why
Trajan he could shoot that rock, but
you also
when I look at how Coach K was recruiting, I further understood where Jalen Rose was coming from. As far as how he perceived Duke.
But people forget about this, though. One of the other reasons why Coach K wanted Trajan so bad, Trajan was still on a minor league baseball scholarship. So I was being paid for minor league baseball. So they didn't pay for a scholarship. He paid for his tuition, or at least the team did, at Duke. So he was a free scholarship at Duke. Wow. he was essentially a walk-on.
Right. Wow. That's interesting. And he was All-American, too.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the other reason, too, because it's like, oh, wait a minute. We can make this work where because you played baseball, you can pay for your own scholarship and you can play ball at Duke. All right.
Hey, you guys brought up Juwan Howard, and you just reminded me of something. Remember when the Bullets had offered him, tried to re-up him, and they offered him all that money, and he said,
went to Miami.
He said, that's an insult.
It was 110 million, I think, at the time. It was 110 million.
I was like, man, that ain't no insult, man. You just don't want to be there no more. Just quit lying. Talking about that was
didn't the NBA void that contract or something like that? They stepped in?
I don't know.
No, I think Washington matched it. I think is what it was. I think
Washington matched it. Okay, because that was I think that was the same year that Alonzo got his money from Miami.
Yeah,
and that's if it wasn't for Pat Riley wouldn't have opened up their pocketbook. Shaq probably never comes to LA because he watched the news and saw that Orlando was lowballing him. Then he went to Jerry West like, yo, let's do this.
Or if Orlando had signed him like a week earlier, like if Orlando closed that deal like 7 days earlier, it would have been a whole different ball game.
No, but Orlando gave him the first right of refusal. They just didn't come with it. They didn't go deep in them pockets. They only offered him 90.
Because he screwed my boy Penny over, man.
Well, I think what happened to Salaam too is I think Orlando thought this was going to be the right amount, and then if Shaq had signed, it would have been fine. And I think the money wasn't that it was so crazy. It doesn't look crazy until Alonzo signs his deal, and then you're like,
exactly.
Oh,
that shook up the market,
right?
But let's keep it real. Did Shaq really want to stay?
Yes, I think he did.
He did want to stay.
Oh yeah, I think he absolutely did.
They couldn't.
He was cool. He was cool with Penny. I mean, as far as I think him and Penny were a natural fit than Shaq and Kobe were. Shaq and Kobe were just greater, together. But I think Shaq and Penny would have been that would have been a problem for 10 years at least.
Right. They couldn't work that out. I mean, Shaq couldn't work that out with
all they really had was like a year and a half together, technically. I mean, if you want to be, if you want to be perfectly frank about it, but that shit sucked. Penny probably would have had like 3 of them things right now.
He would have.
I don't think Jordan would have got back to it. Well, they would have battled anyway. They'd have battled because after Orlando beat them that season that Jordan came back and people said, he just came back. The motherfucker played 30 games. I don't want to hear that excuse. He came back and then they beat him or whatever. And then the next year they swept him. So I think if
Orlando would have made some moves to come back in that next year, and they would have battled some more.
At least it would have been battles. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would have made a challenge.
I agree.
They'd have been battle tested by the time the Bulls broke it up. They'd have
Right.
been battle tested. Yeah.
But they would have stopped, running, Donald Royal and guys like that.
Yeah.
Anthony Bowie.
Yeah, I'm saying they've got some quality players.
But you know that the looking back at those teams too, the Pacers had a good team. I don't know what extra the Pacers needed.
Pacers
They had to play
needed
Chicago.
another shooter.
But no. Honestly, when you look about it, Chicago was just the perfect fit to take out the Pacers. If Chicago wasn't there, we would look at Indiana as a whole different franchise
and a whole different lens. Yes.
Yep. Like their problem was the Bulls.
Reggie used to go. I mean,
Reggie had to go with MJ, and it couldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? He's just a
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
On the team he went MJ on. He went MJ.
Mark Jackson, he can't shoot. You know what I'm saying? So it worked out in Chicago's benefit.
Yep.
Yeah, but Reggie had the Achilles heel because
Knicks,
Jordan hated to guard shooters.
Right. He had to run around the screen. Yeah.
Yep. Especially Reggie. All Reggie
That's
does.
why Reggie gave him 44 in like his second, third year in the league.
Yeah, Reggie run around the whole game. He run around around perimeter.
Yes. Never stopped.
He
running off the screen, running around. Yeah.
But the thing is, I mean, Chicago had versatile players at almost every position.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Indiana had guys that only could do this.
Yeah.
Only could do that.
Correct.
Right. The Davis brothers. They can't shoot from no more than 5 feet from the basket, and that's it.
Yes.
Both of them, huh?
Yeah. Now,
So Indiana had
Dale
best at
Dale was
every
a terrible
Bad
shooter.
enough having one, you got two of them.
I mean, they fought, but I mean, so you wasn't getting that. You knew what you were going to get from them.
Right.
Nothing special, hard work, but nothing special.
Right.
What about the Kukoc shooting threes, dropping dimes? You know what I'm saying?
He was the difference.
In the interior.
Everything.
Yeah, because Indiana, they just
blew
they'll wear you out with bodies, like, because they had at least 4 legitimate defenders that they could just throw at Mike just to just wear him out. Wear him out. Have Reggie running around screens. Because when the game got close, they were putting Derek McKee on him. And Derek McKee is a natural small forward, but he would like be a power forward. But Indiana just had a bunch of no-name lunch pail dudes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like Antonio Davis and Dale Davis was just like body. Antonio Davis like swole DL Hughley. He just going at Dennis. And Dennis was pretty like held in check that series. I don't remember Dennis going off. In that 98
Rebounds.
series.
Not rebounds. Yeah.
Yeah, they held him in check.
So Reggie did have his moments though. He went off on the Knicks though, boy.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
Killed him.
well, and that's why I say the Pacers' only problem in the East were the Bulls because they owned they owned the Knicks. The only team they could not beat was Chicago. That was the only one.
Yeah.
So if Chicago didn't exist, or if they had broken up before, we'd be talking about the Pacers as one of the best dynasties in the East that we never seen.
Wasn't that 10 points in 10 seconds, or what was?
Hey, well, that's what I want to ask you real quick. What was greater, McGrady's 13 points in 21 seconds, or Reggie Miller's 9 points in 8 seconds?
Because wasn't Reggie's a playoff game?
I say McGrady in that sense because I remember watching that game.
Hey, that was crazy what McGrady did.
Like considering like who Reggie had checking him, he had Starks was a decent defender, but McGrady had Bowen. Dirty ass Bruce Bowen.
Stark had Tourette syndrome or something.
Yeah.
That fool.
But McGrady just could flat out score, dude. I mean,
Was that a play? Well, was McGrady's a playoff game? I don't think it was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But that was damn impressive.
Oh
but
no, I'm not saying it wasn't. But for me, a playoff game is going to always.
I get you.
So we're going with Reggie. We're going with Reggie, man.
Well, I get you.
That's the only reason. And you're right. I'm not taking anything away from McGrady. But it's like playoff game versus a regular season game. I'm always going to take the playoff game.
Yeah, I get that.
Man, if I was on the Knicks, man, I'd have been pissed. I've been so pissed, man. I mean, like, just stick a foot on them, do something. I mean,
right.
But the Knicks should be beating.
Even if you get kicked out the game, at least take one for the team.
The Knicks should be beating Charlie Ward's ass because, like, I think him trying to box out PJ Brown cost them a chance to play against the Bulls again in '97. '97, the Knicks was the only squad to beat the Bulls twice that year. And I think had the Bulls and Knicks played instead of the Bulls and Heat played, you probably looking at a 7-game series because Allen Houston was money out there too, guard spot. He couldn't stop Mike, but he had a wet jumper though that Mike. I mean, H2O was good for 25, easily. And then they moved John Starks, who was checking Mike in the first 3P. They moved him as back to 6 man. It's like, we love you, John. We dunked on Mike and Horace, but you coming off the bench. We bringing Allen Houston up in here.
No, he snuck it.
And then you had Larry Johnson. So they were able to hit the Bulls and make them pay attention to him on defense and spread the court a little bit.
That was the highlight of John Stark's career, because he looked pretty awful against the Rockets, man.
What do you mean? What over 7's bad? No, or was it over 6, over 7 for John Starks?
He was like 2 for 18 in Game 7.
And kept shooting.
I guess the motto is you keep shooting your way out of it. It didn't work out for him.
I mean, Pat Riley rolled with who he trusted,
I guess so. Yeah,
because he lost confidence in Hubert Davis that series.
As he should have. Hubert Davis was garbage that series.
I got a question.
Well, did that Biggie track come out at that time when Hubert Davis was garbage that series? The one that John Stark said alluded to that Biggie was talking about Hubert Davis.
I don't know. That's a good question. You might be right. Because he was so bad that series. He had a good season, but that series he was just awful. Too much, but you know what? It's a championship. It's too much pressure for some people. I
got a question though. So are we still disrespecting the Spurs '99 championship?
Why?
No,
because it was a shortened season. No, I wouldn't. I mean, here's the thing: it was a shortened season for everybody. So why would I disrespect the fact that they won? It wasn't like they only played 50 games and everyone else played 82. So
some shit Skip Bayless would say. It's tainted. It's not.
Yeah, it's not tainted.
I just wish Patrick Ewing didn't blow out his Achilles. The Knicks could have gave him a better series. But the Knicks was on a roll though that year though. I mean, it's heresy for Chicago and the root for anything New York, but I was rooting for New York that year.
Were you?
Were you? They went to work. Give them credit. I mean, once they beat Miami, that first round, they swept Atlanta. Then they upset Indiana. They was rolling.
Let me tell you. Let me take that back. I was kind of pulling for Ewing to get something.
Yeah.
But he had, but see, they didn't show up in 90. Was it 94? Wasn't it? Oh, 95. Was it 94?
I think it was
94. 95, they choked at home against Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just in a dream, and they just look,
But to be fair, here's what I will always say about the Knicks or anybody, that no one was stopping Hakeem Olajuwon those 2 years.
No.
I mean, he was always a great player, but especially those 2 years, it wouldn't have mattered.
He was unstoppable.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Dolemar mentioned Anthony Mason. Yeah.
Anthony Mason.
Yeah.
You talking about Draymond Green?
He defended Dream, but I mean, still.
I think he was a better defender than Draymond, though.
No. Mm-hmm. No. No. You think Anthony Mason was a better defender than Draymond?
I think he's stronger than Draymond. I don't know if he's better.
Stronger, but
better offensively, maybe. But
yes.
Mason has quicker feet, but Draymond is a more versatile, more higher IQ defender.
Yes.
I mean, Draymond, you could take put a play on the blackboard and say, go out and execute this. We trapping every pick and roll. He's going to execute that. He's like a middle linebacker. So we're just watching how Golden State play when he's out there. Mm-hmm. He's talking, he's rotating. Yep. You can tell he got it up here.
He is the quarterback on defense.
Try to thug you out. He try to put his chest on you like, it was a piece of furniture or something. But, IQ wise, it just wasn't there.
And to be fair, though, it worked a lot for Mason because he was a strong dude. So for some guys, nope, I want no parts of this.
Mace was like Attica strong. You know what I'm saying?
So, right. Well, pin strong.
I think that goes with that. I think the X-Man was just a thug too. He was.
By that time, he was.
Yeah.
The Seattle X-Man was a beast, but the one who got to New York by that time, he was just a thug.
Seattle X-Man was averaging 20.
Yeah, he was a beast.
In New York?
No, in Seattle. He played for Seattle.
No, I was talking about when he was in New York.
Yeah.
In New York, his role diminished at that time.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of Draymond, Brandon, what did he say the other day? He said something stupid. He always trying to sound profound.
He said something about Black Lives Matter. It don't matter in Canada or some shit like that.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean?
It was I think the Raptors had Black Lives Matter on their bus.
Yeah.
On the side of the bus.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah.
That fool said that it don't matter to them. They outside the U.S.
Black, yes. I don't know, man.
Can't even.
That's like what the whole thing with Michael Porter. What he just said. But there's truth to Michael Porter Jr. and then there's some truth to what Draymond said. Now, whether or not they should have said it and could have used it in a better context, I mean, we'll get into that.
But that's
I
like
didn't understand.
That's like dividing, though, Brandon. That's like saying the black players in Toronto don't care about what's going on in the U.S.
Oh, I know that's what I'm saying, but I guess the way he was trying to explain it, like what black people in America go through isn't the same what they go through in Canada. I don't.
But that may be true. That may be true, but it doesn't mean that just because racism is different, it doesn't mean it's less than.
Right.
Like even you take a place like England, where most of us think that England is pretty racially, okay.
Diverse,
not necessarily true.
Right.
Yeah. Especially if you're of Indian descent, they got problems with you still, even to this day. So I think that's part of the issue or part of the conversation where it's like, racism is gonna that's the thing that makes racism so tricky. It looks different in different places. Yeah. Sometimes it is cops beating you in your head, but sometimes it's also, you know what? We're not going to give these folks money to buy houses. Granted, America does both, but the point is, we don't know what it's like in Canada. I haven't lived there. I can't.
I don't know.
It could be worse than what we think.
I've heard that Canada is pretty diverse, but to your point, when George Floyd was murdered, you had protests break out all over the world, in Great Britain and England and different places. So you had black people, white people, and people of different cultures. Mm-hmm. So they were all protesting. So what he was going to say, y'all? Well, y'all don't have Black Lives Matter problem over there. You can't be protesting. I don't.
How does he know? Was he raised in Canada?
But even if they don't, they protest in this solidarity. What's going on here? So that's the whole point.
Yeah, keep it going. Why would you talk bad about that? It's fine. It's good. We want this.
I just thought that was ridiculous, but I said, man.
Thank goodness if it wasn't for COVID, nobody would have been paying attention.
Right.
Nobody would have been. Everybody would have been going on vacation.
That came out of it is one of the good things that came out of that tragedy, like you said. Is that people that the economy was slowed down, people were at home, they were paying attention.
And folks who were making money at one point all of a sudden didn't have a check coming in. It's like, wait a minute. Now all of a sudden I don't have a check coming in, just like these black people didn't have a check coming in.
Exactly.
And so then once again you start equating pocketbook with race. But the problem is with the economy, and like with any other downturn, it eventually recovers. So when the economy recovers, will your compassion recover? And that's the the 64-hour question.
Yeah. I'll say this. So far, this feels different. I think part of the reason it feels different.
I agree.
Number one, I can't going through history. I can't remember the last time I've seen this many mad white folks. And then number two, I can't remember the last time I've seen the government openly antagonize these angry white folks. It's a weird thing that's going on.
That's crazy.
Right?
Attacking soccer moms and
and
Navy veterans and I've never seen nothing like that before. Even in the 60s, you didn't have that.
No. Look at what's happened in Portland. That's insane. That is crazy. Yeah. The fact that it's yes, you got the soccer moms, and then you got the dads with the leaf blowers, and then the feds were still we're gonna beat some heads in. What are you doing? What is going on?
See, it's kind of 60-ish in the sense of not necessarily civil rights piece, but when the hippies and others were against the Vietnam War.
Right.
And when they sent troops in on them and were beating college students down and shooting college students.
That's what I do. I know. Do remember that.
Yeah. Kind of likened to that. Now it's still different, and this I would agree, Kyan. It does feel different.
I think the intensity is different. Yeah, the intensity is different. I think what you're saying, Kenyon, it's more.
And it's going on so long, right? I mean, we're used to short rides, right?
Yep.
These are prolonged.
We're not used to this long. We're not used to the bus boycott kind of stuff.
Right. Not fighting for us anyway.
Right. So I mean, this is going on for months because still out here.
Well, keep the fight going because we're still fighting for police reform.
Yes.
And some other changes. So keep it up. Yeah, man.
And in the 60s, like you had people like Jane Fonda who had fundraisers at her penthouse in New York to bail out Angela Davis, to bail out Bobby Seale, to bail out, to pay for Huey Newton's defense.
Yeah.
And you had actors like Marlon Brando who paid for little Bobby Hutton, who got the 16-year-old kid up in Oakland. He paid for the funeral. So you had also like the Chicago 7, like Abby Hoffman.
We call them allies.
And all those folks in Chicago they had alliances with Bobby Seale and Fred Hampton. So you see this this establishment, this overlap back then of establishment linking up with Black organizations, but you wonder to what end does it have? And the way we saw it is, even as much as Jane Fonda cut up from a legal standpoint, taking mug shots with a fist in the air, she's still making monster-in-law movies. She still is getting the check, but yet you got Mumia Abu-Jamal still locked down. My man A$AP Brown in Atlanta, he's still in there. So Jane Fonda ain't been in no joint for that long. So there's no what I'm afraid of. I'm not saying that it's not a good thing that is happening. What I'm afraid of is this type of dynamic is something that white folks could easily walk away from. Get a haircut and a shave, put on some crease shirt or whatever have you, and they blend right back in like nothing ever happened. And this is something that we'll end up having to pay for. So like they're getting the thrill right now while we get the bill. That's why I'm afraid it's going to happen.
And that's why I'm hoping that we get the change before things get back to normal. Changes that we want.
And I think too, the one thing I think that's going to make or could make this different, or I hope makes this different, is with the advent of social media. I think it changes. I think that's part of the reason why the intensity level is a lot higher this time, or it feels. But I also think that's part of the reason why this is still going as long as it is, because I think it's easier to still put these issues in front of people. Because the funny part about all this is, since these protests have happened, it's not like the cops are like, "Oh, we're cool, we're gonna stop beating up folks." They still are, right? And so I think it's interesting, or my hope is that this is the part that makes the change, because you can still keep this out front. It's a lot easier. Like, we're finding out about these things a lot quicker than we would have 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, where it would have been hearsay. Now it's like, oh, they videotaped this. This just happened a week ago. We're starting to see more body cam videos come out. I mean, I think we'll know it's really made a change when you start getting convictions. When you actually start getting police officers where it's like, yeah, this is a problem. Because that's always been my thing. My thing is, outside of police brutality, which is already a problem, the fact that most of these things go to a grand jury and get thrown out. Like, not even a trial. Now we can argue about what happens in a trial with good lawyers. I get all that. But at least at some point, the conversation needs to be had that cops shouldn't be killing citizens. Willy-nilly. It shouldn't happen that way. Right?
Nobody should. Right. Nobody should be able to.
Right. Nobody should. And especially not cops, because they're supposed to be trained to have skills to de-escalate situations. It shouldn't be, this man's losing it, I'm just going to shoot him and I'll figure it out later. Like, that should be something that should be go before a court of law, so we the people can see the facts as to what's leading this. Of course, that's always hidden, because we know what a lot of it boils down to.
Yeah, I was going to say, to your point too. Huh? Oh,
I said they're not even figuring it out later. They're just shooting to kill. Like, it's when they shoot, they're killing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not about, let me go ahead and shoot him in his leg.
Right.
Let him live for another day.
It's not like it's the Lone Ranger where you shoot you in the hand so you drop your gun.
And they shot him in the back.
Yeah, that's not the way.
What happened to the police, like, chasing you down? Like, them motherfuckers been in shape. That's how they would chase you. Now,
Oh, they would beat. They would give you a good beating.
Yeah, I'm not even doing that no more. I'm just going to shoot you in your back and kill you.
Well, that's not the way they're trained anymore, man.
Crazy.
Unfortunately, they're not trained. They're trained to
Shoot and kill.
view everything as a threat. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that's black as a threat.
Everything
Absolutely.
as a
Let's
threat.
say that way. Yeah.
As a threat. So, and as one who has gone through gun training and learned the laws of this state of Missouri, you know, I see how their training has got them amped up like that. But also, and y'all probably heard about I'm straying a little bit. You heard about the couple here in St. Louis that pulled, the two ladies that pulled the guns out.
Yep.
That was a big no. I knew that.
I didn't.
Yeah, you can't pull guns out on people just because you don't want them on your property.
Correct.
So what's the story?
That kind of state. So some protesters were mad at the mayor. So they came into this gated community in St. Louis. It's like in the Central West End, which is kind of a high end part of the city, and so they came into the gated community. Well, these two attorneys, this couple, they didn't like that, so they came running out the house with their AR-15 and whatever else she
had a hand cannon. I can't remember, like a handgun or something like that.
And they were
protesters.
Yeah, they were going at it with protesters that was walking down the street.
Yep.
And
they came out with AR-15s because they were protesting.
Well, they were coming walking down the street.
Right. By their house. Not on their not actually on their property or not like in their house. Just kind of by their house, and they came out
on the
sidewalk
or in the street or something.
The thing was, even if they were on their grass or whatever, that's still in this state, you can't do that. And I already knew they were gonna get charged, and sure enough, they got charged. So I'm saying all that to say, police, they know they have better training as far as they supposed to have better training as far as de-escalation and being in charge of a situation and not letting it escalate when it don't have to. You know?
Yeah.
But they're not trained. They're trained. Many times they're trained to be aggressive. But like you said, it depends on who they're dealing with, because they ain't aggressive with everybody. But that's a different story.
Right, and like it was like we can't remember. Unfortunately, can't remember his name. The guy who got shot in Atlanta with the taser. Like when you watch that video break down, it looked like the situation was handled, and then for some reason the cops like, I'm gonna go in and arrest you now. It's like, why? It's like he even offered to walk home. Why wouldn't you have just said, here's what we'll do. I don't have to arrest you. I'm gonna drive you home.
Or let him walk home.
Or I'll walk with you, like something like, or let me walk with you because.
Or say I cannot let you drive this vehicle.
Right.
And the guy's even like, you're right. I shouldn't drive. I'm okay with that. I don't have to drive. I still don't understand why it got to the point where it's like, I put my hands on you and arrest you.
He even said I could call my sister to come get me.
Yeah, and cool. All the cops are cool. Let's wait here till your sister gets here, and then we can have a conversation while we wait for your sister. There's so many other ways that situation.
So many other options. Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden,
because that's how the conversation was. Like they were just cordial.
Yeah, then he's like, and then he puts his hands on dudes to arrest him. Dude's like, whoa, what? And then of course he's drunk. He freaks out, and then it goes from there.
Dolomar said 9 cops got arrested for whooping somebody ASS last month.
But he said what now?
9 cops got arrested for whooping somebody last month.
Damn.
Is it, yeah, I think it was a video. I think I remember seeing this video. It's something like Frontline or something like that.
Yeah. You know what? Somebody had brought up earlier about Paul Pierce. I know I'm kind of jumping about, but I never felt Paul Pierce, man. Maybe I'm wrong, but I never looked at him like a franchise player, like a LeBron or a Wade or a Jordan or any of that kind of thing. So, I mean, to me, he was kind of like a complimentary player. If you got a star or two, then he could definitely round them out. But I guess in his mind, he's always
he's more than what he is.
Number one. Yeah. Number one. Yeah.
Well,
like Ernest said.
Yeah, I was going to say
he couldn't win without KG and Ray. Like he's talking about what LeBron did or whatever. Of course, LeBron got to the finals. LeBron got the Eastern Conference Finals, even without going down to Miami. Like D Wade, I mean, I'm a LeBron fan. Y'all know this. D Wade told dude how to win. That's what he did. He showed him how to be that leader, how to grow up or whatever. Yeah. And even so, after LeBron did that, then what did Paul Pierce and KG do when they got on the phone? Hey, let's go down to the Nets. You know, you got D Will down there. They got Joe Johnson. Let's go down there and go and join them so we can go and beat the Heat. So he's done this more, you know what I'm saying? he's a pot calling the kettle black. So I mean, that's just who he is, though. So, Roy, Chris, I know you were saying something.
I mean, Paul was a cold player.
He was.
He's tough.
You know, it's because I hate his game. I discredit him a lot.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, even though he's from down the street, right? He's from Inglewood, and I got people that know him, and he came to the crib a couple of times. But I never liked his game. His game is nasty to me, but it's effective.
Yeah.
Right.
It works.
Effective. It'll get you 25. 7 and 6, but understanding it's not saying he's a franchise player. He probably is a franchise player. He's not a championship franchise player.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. I mean, yeah, you can start your Orlando Magic now with the Paul Pierce, right? Your Minnesota Timberwolves kind of thing. Okay, he gonna make y'all go. It's gonna look pretty good.
Yeah.
But you're never going to win if he's your top-notch player.
And the proof is in the pudding with that, C-Ray. I mean, like, how many trips to the lottery did they make?
Yeah.
In order for them to land Rondo, in order for them to land Perk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Gerald Green. So like he was in purgatory for a while. Him and Twan, they carried them. But they tried to build around them. But I felt they could have did more at the 5 spot than having a Tony Batiste. You know what I mean? Because then if you had an effective 5 who could play with back to basket, then you can pull Twan out of there, put him at a point forward position, have Pierce off the ball the opposite side, and let him go to work.
Right.
So they didn't. I felt they kind of like didn't build around them effectively to get past New Jersey. But then again, Kmart was a dog in Jersey, so they sicked him on Twan, and that neutralized. They couldn't get in their offense. Pierce was taking step backs. At the 6 dribbles, they weren't effective at that point. But but you're absolutely correct. He's not a championship franchise player. No. Like when I look at who's the cornerstone guy, can you take a team that was in a lottery to the playoffs
or make it to the back of the playoffs? Yeah,
you drag them somehow, some way. LeBron did that.
Wade did that too.
Yeah, I mean LeBron had a red wagon that was a Hummer and took that squad to the final. Right. You know what I'm saying? When Mo Williams as the second leading scorer, with Danielle Marshall who was over the hill. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Big Z was still getting an all-star appearance here and there because of the center affirmative action rule, because there was no centers. We had to use Ben Wallace at 6'6". You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there was all the bigs went out west. So Big Z by default stepped right into that all-star berth.
Shavers say Paul was awkward slew foot in fundamentals. So
hey, y'all might not like this comment. But you know who today's Paul Pierce? Jimmy Butler. He cannot be your best player and get you to no championship. I hate to say it.
I think you're right. B. Yeah. Because like in that same wing, they don't have the same game, but it's the same outcome when you have them on your squad.
They're more than what they are. They think they can lead and run. They can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Here's where
I would say one thing in Jimmy's defense. Now you're right. Jimmy's not a number one. I agree with you on that. But what Jimmy will give you is 40 minutes of hell. Right. So he's gonna put it all on the line, and he's gonna give you everything he's got.
He's a two-way guy.
Yeah, he's a two-way guy.
And he developed his game. We gotta get a kid credit, man. I mean, like he did. He went from nothing to
and he's athletic too.
Here.
And he's athletic.
He's strong. You know what I'm saying? He can defend.
But he's not a number one, huh?
Yeah, he can score. He's just not an A-list kind of a guy.
Right.
Well, and before I drop off, I think the other issue with Butler, or the reason why he hasn't won anything, is I haven't seen him play with a number one who's better, like who's clearly better than him, where he was like, I'm gonna do what you need me to do. And as my role play, for example, if you put a Jimmy Butler with like a LeBron, it'd be a whole different
chance.
Well, but I'm just saying, but it hasn't happened yet. So I'm saying if you saw him with that kind of alpha, I think you would see a completely different Jimmy Butler. But he's been with the guys who think they're number ones, like a Joel Embiid, who really aren't, or like he was like in Minnesota, where those guys were just all head cases. That's why I think part of the problem is.
Those guys were getting checks in Minnesota.
Well, yeah,
Right,
it's
exactly.
been a hierarchical issue. Because in Minnesota, like you had Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, they put a lot on that man's shoulders.
Yeah.
As young as he was, is that he'd take us, cat. You know what I'm saying? But then you have an underachiever and Andrew Wiggins.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I tell you what, I would have loved to see, and it didn't happen because Jimmy's development took time. But I would have loved to have seen Jimmy Butler in his prime with MVP Rose before Rose got hurt.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been off the chain.
Yeah.
But,
and throw in little Nate Dogg in there too. You know what I'm saying?
But I hear what y'all are saying, but Jimmy's had two great teams. He could have like Philly. Could you imagine Jimmy Butler with Philly right now?
Wow.
Philly's a mess, though. I
don't know why he left.
It
must be something wrong. He left.
No,
because he knows he's not going to win anything. The way they're constructed, they can't win. When your two best players both have to live in the paint in today's NBA, that's a problem.
That's a problem. That's true.
Best players, and I know he's going to play power forward now, but up until then, he's supposed to be a point guard who won't shoot. You can't win.
I knew Philly wasn't going to be all in on Jimmy anyway when they traded for Tobias.
Exactly.
I called it right then and there. Exactly. I said, as soon as they brought Tobias in, I said, Jimmy is gone. Yep. I said, they're going to let him walk. And sure enough, what happened? He walked.
Philly's problem is mental.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, yes, they have players that aren't necessarily complimentary all the time, but Joel Embiid's a baby.
Yes.
Right. He's a gigantic little girl. And then
Chris said that if you ever run into him on the street.
Listen, we'll see what happens.
See what happens.
Yeah, he young. Shit. I mean, like he ain't gonna do nothing with no grown ass man.
Right. But he is weak in the mind, dude. Yes. There is no reason that dude should not be scoring 35, 15, right? You know what I'm saying, and getting 3 or 4 blocks a game.
He has the talent.
Just dominate.
Other people take him out of his game, or lets the coach take him out of the game. Gets mad at other players. That's why Jimmy left. Because Jimmy, like, man, I can't do it with y'all, man.
Too mature,
man. You just want to, showtime. You want to look good,
right?
But you don't care about winning.
And then
but Jimmy's in a nice situation in Miami, though. I mean, like, because before COVID hit, I said that Miami. I had predicted before COVID hit that Miami was going to knock off Milwaukee. And up until this point, Miami beat Milwaukee twice, and they can match up with them.
Yeah,
so they can give them hell at all these different positions, and where Milwaukee has like Bledsoe and Connaughton, here Miami can counter that with Dragic, with Kendrick Nunn, Chicago kid. And then you got a rookie like Tyler Hero who playing out his mind. I knew Tyler Hero was going to be good, and at first I was kind of questioning why they picked him so high. I knew he was going to be okay as a pro, but that dude just like a flash in the pan, man. I mean, like he came with it this year.
Yeah.
So what's the excuse for him in Minnesota? Because we got one for Philly. So what's the
Jimmy Butler?
Yeah.
You're not going. So let's just
Minnesota.
Let's just be real for a second. You're not going to win anything in the NBA when your two best players are Cat and Andrew Wiggins. You're just not. Because Andrew Wiggins I'm not saying he can't play basketball, but he plays like he does not care. He's got talent.
He underachieved greatly in Minnesota.
Correct.
I think Kerr gonna get something out of him though in Golden State.
Maybe I hope so.
Yeah, and next year Golden State gonna be right back at it.
And then Cat, as talented as he is, you can tell he's just like, I'm just cashing checks at this point. Like you can tell he doesn't care either. So if you're Jimmy Butler, where all you do is care, you can't win with those dudes. Because they're not going to match your intensity. Not even come close.
Jimmy show up at the gym at 4:00 in the morning, man. So
yes,
I don't think he can play with alphas. That's what the problem is.
I think he can. I think he needs alphas.
He needs the right alpha.
He doesn't have. When's he played with an alpha though? That's the thing. He's always been the alpha. What other alphas has he played with?
Only alphas he played with were in Chicago. Huh?
I think Ben Simmons is alpha.
I disagree.
I think he's
I don't know how.
I don't think he is.
I
either.
can't.
I don't know how he can't shoot.
Correct. You cannot be an alpha at 6'9" playing point guard, and you will not shoot a jumper.
He's playing power forward right now.
Because he won't shoot a jumper.
They shelved that point guard shit. They put him at the 4 now.
Right, because he will not shoot a jumper. They had no choice because he won't shoot from outside the paint. That's not an alpha. That's not what an alpha does.
And the kid is so talented, man. I never seen a left-handed player that could use his right hand as good as Ben Simmons can. I just don't understand it.
And that's the thing. Even if you would just take, and I'm gonna have to drop after this, sorry y'all, but even if you would just take a couple of jumpers, it changes everything. Because if he makes, let's say he shoots, and I'm not saying necessarily 3-pointers, but even if he shoots like free throw line extended or from the wing, if he's shooting a couple of those, and especially if he gets hot and starts making them, now you've got to respect it. And now you've got all this space for Embiid to work because there's nobody in the paint anymore because you've got to step up on Simmons. But right now, here's what they do. Oh, Simmons got the ball. We're going to pack the paint. He ain't going to shoot it.
I would too. I would pack it too. I'm going to make you shoot. I'm going to make me respect you.
And here's the difference. And I'm going to say this one last time and I got to go. It's not even that. It's not even like he misses the shot. It's not like, oh, he's not going to make it. He's not even going to shoot it.
Yeah.
Ken's wife must be standing right there.
No, I just got to go. I got to make sure the kiddos in bed and all that good stuff.
With Ben Simmons, scared money don't make money.
Sure enough, don't.
He going to get it, though.
Hey, before you go in, when you were talking about fives and how you and Salaam was talking about how they was trying to, they hold on to the 5 position and everything. Yeah. And who was a 5 that fell off in the trash can real quick was Roy Hibbert. And,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, he fell off in the trash can, man, huh?
But you know why, don't you?
Crash in Georgetown, I think, personally.
What was that? What is that?
He was good in Indiana. His problem is he went to the Lakers and he wasn't ready for that. A lot of players aren't ready to be a Laker. It's a whole different ball game.
That's a different ball game. Yeah.
But he started falling off before he left Indiana, though.
Not like that, though. Like when he got the Lakers,
you
like he
talk
could
to
play
Paul
basketball.
George and his choice in women that did that. So
yeah. Well, and yes, you're right. He started to struggle in Indiana, but when he got to the Lakers, it looked like he couldn't play basketball. And you got to remember too, the game started to change too, because he's one of the last traditional back to the basket 5s we've had.
Right.
Yeah. Since then it's been your spot up 4. Your spot up 4s or 5s that can shoot 3s. So the game was starting to change, and of course he can't do those things. He's old school Georgetown basically.
Go ahead.
And look at the Lopez twins; they shooting 3s in Milwaukee.
That's what I was going to say. So would the 5s make a comeback?
No.
It happens in cycles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, because at one point you had like 5 men, even though Ralph Sampson was a 4, but he was running the floor like a deer.
Yeah.
Then when Dream got there, they said, okay, Dream, you man the paint and I can get out and run and do some things. Ralph Sampson would have been a monster if he didn't get hurt. Granted, thankfully he's in the Hall of Fame, but his career would have been that much better. Yeah, but he doesn't get that kind of credit. But then when you look at somebody like a Lambeer, I know we all hate him, but that Pistons inverted offense, though, where you can run pick and pop all day, and he was dotting your eye from the 3-point land, and giving you like 10 boards a game, and giving you he was the best post defender of that era to me. So the game just changed, and so
But I think
what happened.
He said the Lopez twins are alphas.
But here's why I don't think
well, Robin Lopez is alfalfa, but
but here's why I think the 5s aren't going to come back. The problem now, though, is who's going to teach young 5s how to play with their back to the basket? Because so few guys do that now.
They're supposed to be signing up for the Dream School. He's still teaching, ain't he?
But I mean, yes, but they're not, because they're going to start shooting jumpers because everybody loves it when you shoot jumpers. Everybody loves it when you shoot evolution. So that's why I don't think at least the traditional 5's not going to come back.
Right, and the other thing is, physically, it's just easier on your body.
Yep. Ask Patrick Ewing. That's why he started shooting fadeaway jumpers and stuff.
Y'all got to realize James Wiseman is coming out of college next year. He's a true 5. He's going to be a dog. He's going to go in the top 5.
I like Wiseman. I like Wiseman.
All right, fellas, I'm a bounce. It's been fun.
Take it easy, Ken.
All right, Jay, let me ask you something.
Yeah, I like Wiseman, but I think Toppin or that kid at where he go to school, Dayton or something. I think he might be the one. No.
Okay.
Jay, you were saying something about centers falling off, right?
Yeah.
So who you got? You got. I'm gonna talk to you about a center that fell off. You got Andrew Bynum. And you got Roy Hibbert. Who you gonna take?
Bynum did that to himself.
Bynum was a problem.
He did that to himself.
I take Bynum.
Yeah.
We had knee. I think he had knee injuries and problems like that. Wasn't that right, Chris?
Yeah, I think he was.
No. Chris, you was a Golden State fan, were you? You're a Lakers fan. I'm just trying to figure. I didn't know. I was just trying to figure it out. I'm sorry if I offended you. I didn't say it a little bit. I mean, I'm trying to find out.
Shot fired.
Oh man!
But no, I thought Bynum's problem was in his head. If you ask me, tripping.
Well, after he fell Barrera that one time and knocked him to the first stance.
Yeah.
That was disgusting.
Yeah, he lost his mind and
that
never regained it. Really.
Yeah, because y'all remember. You remember when they played the Heat when he made that bucket over Shaq and he
the dunk.
Yeah. And then Shaq came down to score, and then he threw an elbow at Shaq, and I was like, oh my God. So, like, that Bynum right there, if that Bynum would have still been playing and gotten them knee injuries, you'd have probably been all right, man. But
Well, now you got me thinking. Now you got me thinking about what did he change his name to this time? Did he change his name twice?
Who?
Say
one of his names.
Oh shoot, I can't remember now. It's so ridiculous. He the one that served up James Harden a big elbow.
Oh, Meta War Peace.
Oh, Meta.
Yeah. You're talking about crazy, man.
And his friend.
But you know what? You know what? He wasn't too crazy because he didn't want none of Ben Wallace.
He was
Palace.
Yeah, he didn't want that fade. He
didn't want that.
Yeah, he went and laid down.
He went and laid down on the table. Ben was like, "Come on down here, nigga. Come on."
And did you see Big Ben's brother?
Yes.
Yes. Dude.
Yes.
He got a brother.
I mean, and then little Fred Jones was trying to like try to get Steven Jackson out there. Ben's brother right behind Fred Jones, like boom, boom, just drilling him into the bleachers.
I think Ben has like 6 or 7 siblings.
Yeah, he the baby.
Really? And they all giants.
Mm-hmm. The bad thing about it is that fan that Ron Artest hit, he ate the punch and looked right at him. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, he ate the punch. I'm like, this dude must. Yeah. He throws elbows better than he punches, I think.
Either that or that was the wrong dude to be hitting.
He ate the fan looked at him like, oh.
Hey, speaking of brothers, then the Greek Freak's brother get yammed on the other day.
Oh, that was disgusting. Yeah. He got hurt too, right after he got dunked on. Oh my gosh. It's so bad.
Talk about like name recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's 2 of them on Milwaukee and then 1 with the Lakers. But the one with the Lakers ain't gonna play no more. His claim, he's done. He's not even gonna get him more time. So
yeah,
that was over with. He got his team in the scrimmages, and that's it. I don't even think you probably you're not going to see a lot of them. You ain't going to see.
Oh no,
I ain't see Jr. You might see Dion, but that might be it.
Oh, you gonna see Jr.
It's not even going. You ain't going to see him.
Well,
I think Avery Bradley and Rondo getting hurt and Avery Bradley opting out is probably a blessing in disguise for the Lakers.
I think it was better for the Lakers. People say, "Oh, man, you lose." But you get rid of the non-scoring with scoring.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And shooting.
And Dion can run some point too.
Yeah, that's what he's going to play. He's going to be the backup to LeBron, and then
he's going to be a backup. And then also you have size now. So like, so Avery Bradley is what, like 6 feet, maybe 6'1" or something.
They got him listed at 6'2", but
you know what I'm saying. Rondo is 6'1". So now you got Dion Waiters. He's 6'4". JR 6'6", so now you got size on the perimeter. So look now, what if you want to throw a long lineup out there where you got AD and Dwight in there together with JaVale or something like that? Because you can put AD at the 3 and stretches. You know what I'm saying? If you want to really like blanket a team,
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that's a name. That's a name I haven't seen. Dolomar mentioned Jermaine O'Neal. I ain't seen that in a while. I've seen that name in a while.
Oh, he doing
yes.
business with T-Mac right now with the A Sports Agency. I thought that was really good for them.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Okay.
him and T-Mac joined forces.
Nice.
That Rich Paul got him motivated, man.
Yeah.
Rich Paul got these boys out here wanting to, because he's turning probably to one of the best agents in all of sports right now.
Yeah.
All sports. He really is.
Yeah, he's doing big things for everybody. So,
But what are you guys' final thoughts, man?
we ain't talk about the I thought we were supposed to be talking about training camps and stuff like that opening up.
Oh, I thought we did.
Out.
Football?
Yeah.
I think you guys said early on you don't think it's happening, didn't you?
I didn't say it.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's happening. I think if you got the Marlins and the whole damn team catching the Rona, I'm sure you can do football. I don't really, and then the football, like they
I know
reported.
what we said. We said we didn't think college football was going to start up.
Yeah,
That's what it
I
was.
still think they're going to do those too. They're going to do the big conferences like the SECs, ACCs.
Right.
I think they're going to do the pack. I think they're going to do, but like the smaller.
The smaller conferences already like folded, shelled the season already.
I think SEC and all that stuff, there is billions of dollars tied into it. I think they're going to figure it out one way or another. So you're going to see you might see Alabama and LSU play each other 3 times a year.
3 times, yeah.
Man, that's a treat.
Because it's too much money, I think, is tied into football to where they lose billions and billions and stuff like that. So I think it's going to happen. So
and in all these states where football is king, like Texas, Alabama, Georgia, you know what I mean? Like they shut down whole weekends just for football, you know.
But again, I said earlier, these kids are not getting paid, man, and they're going to be forced to play, COVID-19.
They don't have to play. I mean, they give them an option.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like if it's a big deal, like you said. I don't know if they're gonna have an option.
Well, they just recently said on the news yesterday that they were talking about COVID waivers, for some of these kids, for they get them the choice to opt out or anything.
Yeah, because I mean, I can see one of them getting mad. Hey, man, you breathing on me? Quit breathing on me.
I think you're going to do that with that new shield that shield that the NFL came out with, which is going to make a lot of money. So it's like a visor, and it's not that thick, and it goes all the way down to about right here. But it has a hose here, has a hose on the side. So
now during recovery of fumbles, ain't nobody poking each other's eyes out in the bottom of the
ball. Well, I mean, how with visors you can get fogged up. Certain it's real. Right. So that's why they put the holes in them and whatever. So I think because the NFL's got to wear them. So I think if college follows suit, it should be fine. You know what I'm saying? So all that money they're making in college off of these kids, I'm sure they can. So
your consensus is it's going to start up NFL as well.
NFL is going to start on time.
Yeah,
they're just not going to have they're not doing no preseason games. And
right, they're going to roll the dice.
Has training camp open for the NFL?
Yeah, well, they all reported. Yesterday. Well, they all had to get tests first, pick up their playbooks, and then they all kind of went home. Then once the test
they're probably gonna test them for everything now.
Test them for weed. Well, weed is good. If you got a card, you can smoke weed.
You've been popped.
Yeah.
See, you've been popped. Well, COVID? No, you ain't got COVID. You got marijuana. You got
You can't replicate a bubble situation in other sports like you could, like with the NBA. Really, I guess that you could. Maybe they didn't look into it, so we'll see. But the NFL is going to try and roll the dice with the product as is first.
Yeah,
this Goodell's last.
Before they start making revisions.
Yeah, then they're gonna be like, wait a minute, one of y'all got some female chromosomes. We got some transgenders up in here.
I know you said something about final thoughts. I'm gonna do this one for Hassan.
All right.
Because Hassan is a big fan of Roy Jones Jr. What do you guys think about Tyson and Roy Jones?
I think it's trash, but that's my opinion.
Oh man.
I think it's gonna be a comedy show. That's what I think. But hey,
I mean,
I wouldn't step in the ring with either one of them right now, personally. But that's just, I'm not a professional fighter, so.
And they're wearing headgear, so Roy got since turning what 38. He's got like a glass jaw. So if they're wearing like headgear, I think it's going to be just it's an eight round fight. So
8 rounds, yeah.
I don't think he'd be doing it if Tarver was fighting, though.
They're gonna be wearing masks.
If Tarver was fighting, I don't think he'd do it.
I think it was some other. I know Floyd was trying to get into the next one too. I don't know who he wants to fight. I don't know if it's Sugar Ray Leonard or one of them dudes.
What?
So yeah.
They might need to put a mask on Tyson so he don't bite nobody.
Oh, man.
Y'all seen his workouts? He
He look good.
Looks good.
Workouts, yeah.
He looks good.
Man, now,
Ray, man.
does that translate to 8 rounds? I don't know.
right. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Is Sugar Ray live up the street?
Sugar Ray Leonard.
You know?
No, Sugar Ray was interviewing him the other day, and Mike was melting down, and Sugar was like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna get out of this interview." Mike was having a meltdown. Sugar was like, "Oh man."
That's a good thing that he's doing, though. You know, this is all Tyson's idea. Like this, putting on these fights, they're going to do them often. It's not just going to be them two fighting, and then it's all over with. They're going to do like legend fightings and stuff like that.
Wow.
Period. Yeah, it's going to be like if there's a rapper that got beef with another rapper. All right, we're going to go, and I think Tyson and them were making like $2 million just for a basic ass 8-round fight, which is probably going to sell out because everybody want to see.
Yeah, it will. It will. Yeah.
Sell out. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're curious. I'm curious. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna watch.
I just don't. I just don't know. And yeah, I mean, because Roy been slipping for years, you know. So.
Yep.
And well, that's what Hassan. You know, Hassan a big fan. So he said, you know, Roy been losing for 15 years, but Roy ain't fought for 15 years straight. I mean, of course, he lost to Talbert, and he just kept losing the bums after that.
Yeah,
he beat a couple of them, but
and now you're gonna step in the ring.
You can't get it out they blood, man. It's just
that's it.
His biggest attribute was speed too. Roy was.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. I don't know what else he has. Like I never really saw that much power. I just saw the speed and combos from him. But as he gotten older, that stuff erodes, man. What else do you have?
People
at least Tyson, if he diminished with quickness, Tyson will always have a low center of gravity. You know, so he get up into your body or whatever. Yep. Even if he don't have a quickness, if he hit you one time, you're just lights out.
Tyson was done after Customato died. That was it.
That shook him.
Yeah, that was his father pretty much. I mean,
Tyson started talking crazy. Listen, I'll eat your children.
That was
much later though. But I tell you one thing though, like the image that comes to my mind is I remember seeing the 30 for 30, and just remember after they showed Tyson after he fought, I think it was Bruce Selby in '96, the one night in Vegas, and then he was like Tupac, and they just like embraced each other like that. I was like, damn. I mean, you're looking at a tale of America, because like I look at how. Pac is basically like Mike Tyson of hip hop, you know, basically.
Right.
Delivery was just, you know, once he's on start out on 10 and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
There's no drop off.
Yeah.
And Tyson fought the same way, and just to see them like embrace, I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
I mean,
Tyson in his prime, man, was a beast, man. I mean, it was. We all know this. Watching the Tyson fight, if you wasn't no going to the bathroom and get popcorn and other stuff, man.
you didn't pay no pay-per-view either.
you be gone for a minute and it's over with.
Over. You watching the replay.
You can't sleep because Roy Jones ran in the 90s. He ran in the 90s. I mean, of course,
he sure did.
I mean, De La Hoya was right there with him. Felix Trinidad was there. So it was a whole bunch of dudes that ran in the 90s, but Roy was probably the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the 90s. I mean, Pretty Boy Floyd was just making his way up the
He was just making his way. But Roy was a bad dude. You gotta give him his credit.
He was a monster. So I just wanted to do, talk about that for a sign, because I'm sure he's gonna give me a shout out,
All right, Janice, final thoughts. Janice says, what's y'all final thoughts?
Wait, before we go, why don't Chris Ray, because we all about Brandon, okay? Chris Ray, take the floor right quick with the shirt, man. Let us know what today's session was brought to you by.
Today's session is brought to you by Rays of Light Filling.
Right. There we go.
Get your Razor Light shirt get your Razor Light shirt.
Let the sun shine in.
And gear from Chris Ray. Yeah.
Is that yours, Ray?
Yes, sir.
So you going to put that in the link? Like we can go get a shirt and stuff?
Yeah,
like
man. I'll put the link up.
You can put the link up.
For sure.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, so overall, we have my wife and I have a charity that we started a few years ago, and we work to help out kids in foster care that are homeless. So we have big backpack drives, and we have toy drives around Christmas time, and just try to do stuff and bring in tangible goods to help out kids that that are less fortunate. So right now it's hella tough to try to even collect goods and things. So we are brainstorming new ways to do stuff and working through it, but the work is here, so we're here to do it.
There it is.
That's it.
So any way we can help out buying some gear or whatever that helps.
You can help out. You can buy some gear. You can make a donation. I'm saying I'm gonna put the Razor Light link right in here.
There you go.
Get with it.
Now that's the salesman coming out of now.
Hey, you got to sell water to a well. I said we can let that logo go to waste, man. We had
the logo's tough, man.
Hey,
absolutely.
So Salaam, your final thought. You got your Magic Shave promo?
Yeah, well, I don't have the tube with me. I should have had it, but it's about time for it right now. So that's the what's that? Soft Sheen. That's the black version of Bye, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's all I know. But
no final thoughts.
Nah, no final thoughts. We said everything we had to say, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen with the rest of this season. I guess with the basketball season, MLB, and whatever's gonna happen in the football. So.
Hey, it might be fight night down at Minute Maid Park. I'm gonna look at the highlights and see.
For real.
Everybody tune in tomorrow for that show. Lakers in 4.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good to get some sports back, man. But we appreciate y'all watching. All the fellas that joined the panel tonight. Until next time, y'all have a great evening.
All right. Good to see y'all, fellas.
All right, y'all.